I think we're live now. Yep, we're
All right.
live. So, hey everyone, Trevor at Top Loaded Gaming. I'm joined by Tipster. Welcome to the show, Tipster. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on, dude. I really appreciate it. Just some dumb shit going on. That's all that's going on, man.
I hear you. Well, we definitely gonna get into it. Smash JT made a video claiming you're simping for Destiny FOMO. So
Right.
is he right? Are you pulling an iDubbbz?
I mean, I feel like the word simp has lost so much meaning nowadays that simply being friends with, a woman makes you a simp. I think it's really ridiculous to that we've gotten to that point. But I mean, he can make those claims if he wants to, but no, I mean, it's just a matter of like, I saw my friend being accused of some things that seemed to be false in my opinion, and so I didn't run a story. And it seems like, our buddy Smash here, and a bunch of people got kind of butthurt about that.
Right. Well, one thing I want to point out real quick is Tipster's camera for whatever reason is not working. Discord has been acting weird all day. So at some point it may end up working. I'm not sure, but I think with everybody self isolating and everything, everybody's on Discord right now. So it just is
Yeah.
what it is. But I think we could maybe back up just a bit, for people that maybe don't know. But how long have you been doing YouTube? Is it like 10 years? It's over 10 years.
I started back in 2006, so it's been a little over 13 years now. So it's been a long time. I'm one of the OGs, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good while, man. I actually started in 2007, so yeah, I'm right neck and neck with you. But let's see. You started out as a gaming retro channel, right? Retro gaming channel. Is
Yeah,
that
I
is that
started
correct?
out, a lot of people were like inspired by AVGN and channels like that, and so I kind of, you know, I guess you could say try to start out by doing my own take on that. And I've tried, several other things over the years. Went from like a gaming retro gaming channel to for a while I dipped my toe into like doing tech videos, and then eventually I went back to the retro gaming stuff. And as I kind of got bored of doing that, now I do what I do now, which is more the like news commentary style stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So let's see. The reason I kind of ask is, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I thought I remember you telling me that you knew Destiny prior to all this stuff going on. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as to say like when the Overthink copyright strike happened. I wouldn't go as far as to say we were friends back then. But we were definitely aware of each other. We've known each other for a while. And so when that happened, I kind of looked at that situation because somebody sent it to me. Like, whenever you do the type of videos I do, a lot of times people will send you other things that you can cover and kind of touch on your show. So somebody sent that to me and I looked into it and I'm like, I kind of feel like, she made a mistake here. I feel like if I talk to her, like maybe she can do the right thing. And so I kind of reached out to her and I grilled her about it. And I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like if I get you to, meaning her and Overthink it to a group chat on Twitter, we can work this shit out and come to some kind of peaceful resolution. And that's basically what happened. As we all got together, they talked it out, and she removed the strike, and that's really where it should have ended. But unfortunately for Smash, that wasn't good enough.
Right, I got you. But yeah, I think it's fair to point out, that one thing, about maybe someone like me or maybe even you, is that it's not just doing a video where you're critical of somebody. Not everyone that does that is necessarily all about just the let's expose this person, let's dump on this person or whatever. Some of us kind of care about you know making some sort of resolution, even
Hmm.
dispelling misinformation, you know
Yeah.
so maybe it's a fair point to say that someone who's a good manipulator or a good bullshitter might take advantage of us, maybe once or something, but for the most part we're actively trying to settle some of this stuff, you know?
Yeah. And it's for some of us, it's more than just like, let's cover this topic and blow it up to get some clicks or whatever. Some of it is, we actually think, we want to try and help the community in one way or another. And if there are those situations where we think we can kind of peacefully resolve a pretty hostile situation, then we might reach out to people and try to make those things happen. I mean, it's not even with the Destiny FOMO situation is the only time I did that. I helped this dude called David DeFranco. He made the mistake of issuing a false copyright strike, and I've known him for many years. So, same thing, reached out to him and got him to retract the strike. The funny thing about Smash, framing it as if like I only do it for Destiny FOMO, I feel like that's false because like I literally helped him in a similar way when Hancock flagged him. I reached out to Hancock and talked him off the ledge too. So I don't know why he tries to frame this as like I'm only doing it for Destiny FOMO. Like he literally knows better because I did it for him when Hancock flagged him. So it's just kind of weird that he would leave that out. I guess that doesn't really fit his narrative now, does it?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure, but let's see. So you said in a DM that you think he's harassing Destiny FOMO. Now, I wouldn't technically, I guess, agree with that. What makes you say that he's harassing him? What particular behavior?
So I don't use the term harassment lightly because unfortunately a lot of people throw that shit around like way too loosely. And a lot of times it loses all of its fucking meaning because, everybody, anytime you criticize someone or anything, it's viewed as harassment or whatever. Now, on the surface, if you're looking at Smash's videos alone, and that's the dodge he tried to use in his recent video, is well, I haven't done anything harassing in my videos. I've only kept it to the facts. And the reality is that, could I say that he's harassing her in the videos? No, I can't. It is strictly criticism, but we're not talking about just the videos, right? As you know, I sent you some screenshots yesterday of some examples of him slut shaming her on Twitter. We
Right.
had the situation.
I'm kind of
Go ahead.
cycling through a few of them here, but there's one or
Gotcha.
two that I'm not really gonna show on YouTube, in fear
Right,
of
right. Yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble, but yeah, I did share those with you.
but yeah,
There's
that's
examples of him slut shaming her, and like I think the biggest problem I took with that is that some of that stuff happened during the overthink thing, right? And uh, it was weird because he wasn't happy that I wasn't going to slam her in a video. And in the DM conversation we were having, he basically tried to imply that I wanted to get into her pants or some dumb shit. So that's why I wouldn't, slag her off for that. And I'm like, dude, it's not a story here because they already worked it out, right? So like, what's the problem? So he gets all pissed off and he starts, slagging her off on Twitter and posting these provocative photos of her on Twitter and shit. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck does that have to do with the copyright strike? Like that doesn't have any relation to this shit. So why are you going to go on Google digging up her old fucking, private snap pictures and posting those to try and use them against her? It has no relationship to this shit. So it makes no sense for you to drag that shit up and try to use it against her in this, relation to the situation. So, and then he did this for months, doing this kind of shit. And
well,
I'm just like,
I'm
what the
not
fuck,
sure.
dude?
I'm not sure about the whole months thing, because I haven't followed all of his tweets about Destiny FOMO, right? But um, I know at the time there was another YouTuber, uh, J Love, who I'm completely cool with, but
Right.
she kind of took issue with what Smash was saying and some of the things he was tweeting out, and uh, I think part of it was his use of the word thought, and uh, it's almost like he would have been uh, rebutting with those pictures, like you saying that I shouldn't be calling her thought or whatever, but here's these pictures. What else would you like me to call her? And using that word that's not in the context, the street slang context, and it's in the context of, like PewDiePie saying, thought, just to describe, someone that shows skin on Twitch or Instagram or whatever. Not necessarily a slut shaming thing. And look, what I have tried to get my point across, actually showing the photos. No, probably not. I probably would have said, well, you just Google her name and you'll see, that I'm not wrong in labeling her this coined phrase to describe, that genre of entertainer, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I think that's fair to bring up in Smash's case. So that's one of the reasons I kind of don't see eye to eye on the whole harassment thing. But I do think he's kind of guilty of slut shaming her. Like anytime it sort of comes up, he's kind of leaning towards like he has an issue with it.
Yeah.
Like he says he doesn't, but it seems like he does.
Where I take issue with it is like it seems like, if you want to have valid criticisms about the ads that she's running on YouTube or, the copyright strike when she flagged her or whatever, like that's cool. Like you can even criticize her if you think she's a thought, whatever. But like, I just feel like constantly digging into her past and like showing that shit. Meanwhile, she's not really responding, but you're just pestering her constantly. Like it seems kind of ridiculous at that point. I think it goes a little bit too far. I mean, at the end of the day, if people see that as like me simping for her or whatever, then I guess it is what it is. That term has it's lost so much fucking meaning now. But honestly, like I just think that's too far. Like why are we criticizing this chick for copyright claims and shit like that? And we're like, well, look, she's a thought, here's all these like nude pictures of her and shit. I don't understand that. That doesn't compute with me, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but I guess I'm sort of thinking of it in terms of like these are just images anybody could Google by searching her name.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
it's just the nuance of how he's using them to try and prove his point that has no relation to the point he's trying to prove. So it's like, why is that necessary?
One thing he said in his video that I kind of took a little bit of issue with was him saying like, well, if you see the pictures, let's be real. And I forget which video. It wasn't the newest video, but he said, let's be real here for a second. Slutty pictures. And it's sort of like, do you, and maybe some people do, and maybe Smash JT just looks at it that way across the board, but do you like go and say the same thing to a porn actress, to a cosplayer, to one of these sexy, cosplayers or whatever? Like nice slutty picture. Like I don't know. It just seems like purposefully inflammatory and, so as far as whether he slut shames her or not, and whether he has a problem, I think to be fair, the answer is yes, but I don't know. We all have our different thoughts on I guess, what this type of entertainer does. But me personally, I don't have an issue with any of it. If I were a good looking female, I would be doing the same fucking thing. The same thing. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, it was just criticism of him, and it's not like this is something new. I've literally told him this in private conversations when he first started doing this, that I think you're taking this shit too far. And he got like super defensive about it. And he was just like, oh, you just want to sleep with her or whatever. And I'm like, bro, like, why would you say that? It's not fucking like that or whatever. But that was like the first thing he jumped to. How dare I criticize him? I just find it really interesting that someone who does videos criticizing people who supposedly can't accept criticism, the moment I, give him my, basically criticism that, hey, I think you're taking this shit too far, then he instantly resorts to defensive mode and like, oh, you just want to get in her pants, bro. Like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing is, I was actually making a video before the stream. I didn't have time to put it out or anything. But his use of the word simp. Now I was kind of going back and forth, playing this semantics game on whether he actually meant white knight or simp. And what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I kind of, based on my interactions with him, I think he's using the actual definition of simp, in that, he, previously accused me in a private conversation of, supposedly wanting to sleep with her or whatever. So I feel like when he uses the word simp, at the very least in relation to this situation, he's trying to imply that, I want to sleep with her. I mean, even in his own video, he kind of alludes to it. He's like, I don't want to comment on people's private lives or anything like that. So it's kind of like, to me, he's literally trying to allude to the fact that I want to sleep with this girl. And it's like, no, that's not the case. I mean, are we really at the point where just, being friends with a female makes you a simp? I don't agree that that's the case, but I guess that's how much that word has lost all meaning, that's the point we're at now. If you're simply friends with a woman, then suddenly you're a simp. I don't know. It just sounds dumb to me. It sounds really fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, there's a point in the video where yeah he says I don't want to make any accusations or whatever about someone's personal life or
Right.
whatever. Uh, so maybe he does literally mean simp. For the majority of my video, I'm just looking at it like white knight because that's what it seemed to me like he was saying. But at the end of the video, he says that, so I guess that's fair. But what would you say to someone saying you do the same thing to Susie Lou?
Um, what do you mean exactly?
Like you are harassing Susie Lou with the amount of content that you make towards Susie Lou. You're harassing her, so you're no different than uh, tips. You're no different than Smash JT. In fact, this is one of your hypocrisies.
I mean, that's a fair criticism if people want to make that. People are gonna, have whatever opinion they want to have, and that's fine. For me personally, I don't see it as harassment. I don't think covering a story, as a news channel is harassment. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're covering a news topic, whether it's mainstream media or an independent news source like myself, whenever there's an update to a situation, you're gonna have to report on the update, right? So that's essentially what's happening here is, I started reporting on the Susie Lou story last year, and there's been a handful of updates since then. And whenever there's an update, I cover them. So, I mean, if people want to comment on the fact that, oh, we think you're harassing her because you've done so many videos or whatever, I mean, that's fine. That's your critique. If that's the argument you want to make, that's fine. But I would say that I disagree. I don't think that reporting updates to a developing story is harassment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my opinion, I'm going to put my opinion out there. One of the things I see the difference as is if you go back to the first video that you did on Susie Lou, it was directly after the Mark After Dark copyright strike, correct?
Right. Yes.
So the way this got started with, me and Overthink Gaming and Smash JT was um you know, Destiny's kind of in her own little world, and Jason comes across her channel and decides, upon himself, I'm gonna, make a video. Uh, he basically thought to himself, I can make an entertaining video, uh, you know, shitting on this girl or whatever, And I've always stated that's not really a video that I would have ever made. So it shouldn't be surprising that I have this opinion, you know. But Jason is who he is. He's my friend, and I stood by him throughout that whole ordeal because I think regardless, mean spirited videos are allowed, So for her to copyright strike it, I thought was wrong,
Mhm.
So I covered it. But there is a difference between the two. And then as far as whether Susie Lou and DestinyFOMO are comparable, I think the amount of stuff that Susie Lou has done, they're just not comparable.
Yeah. I mean,
One
I mean,
point
there's
I
so
can make
much.
about that is that DestinyFOMO reached out to me because one of her fans was trying to dox uh, put out docs info for Smash JT and Overthink Gaming. And Destiny FOMO couldn't reach out to them, as far as I understood, couldn't reach out to them because they had her blocked. So she reached out to me to try and let them know and give them a heads up, right? That's something that Susie Lou would never do. In fact, I think there's maybe implications that she's maybe, tried to get people to dox people, on her behalf. I mean, is that correct? Is that fair in saying that it's at least something that she's hinted at?
Yeah, there was a couple situations where it seemed like she had somehow acquired someone's docs, and she was trying to allude to things like basically like veiled threats or whatever in relation to doxes. In one case, she issued a false copyright strike on a channel, and she didn't issue it in her own name. She issued it in a name that was a reference to where this person lived at the time, right? And then in another situation, she was DMCA'd by someone on Twitter. And when you DMCA someone, it gives your personal information to that person. So in this case, it was Susie Lou. She got this person's personal information, and she posted a tweet that was very threatening in nature about the fact that, hey, I got your docs. You better be careful next time, that sort of thing. So there's
Right.
definitely cases where, that is the case where she somehow acquires someone's docs and she kind of holds it over people's heads. But also, there's situations where you mentioned with Destiny FOMO, um, she will see people posting people's doxes in her comments and she'll try to notify them that this is going on or whatever, right? And there have been situations where Susie Lou fans have shared doxes with her. More specifically, it happened to me where one of her fans emailed me and CC'd her in the email with my docs, or what he thought was my docs, basically. So he was trying to dox me, but unfortunately for him, he got an old address that I haven't lived at for like, I don't know, 10 years or some shit like that.
Right.
Um, and she was aware of this and she never addressed it or, disavowed it or anything like that. The only time it came up and she addressed it was when she came on Augie's show and the topic came up. And she's like, well, I thought he said that wasn't his real docs. And it's like, well, no, it wasn't. But your fan tried to do that and you didn't say anything about it. So it's one of those things where, yeah, she definitely has had involvement with doxes in the past and she doesn't really disavow it or anything like that.
Right. So I think it's completely fair to say like that they're just not comparable at
Yeah,
all.
I mean, there's so many differences between Susie Lou and Destiny FOMO in that, it's not just the copyright strike stuff with her. She's issuing a false copyright strike on someone while having stolen content on her channel. This was before the anime reactions. She literally had wholesale downloaded content from the internet and uploaded it to her channel, fully monetized as her own. So she has a history of stealing content in the past. She has a history of harassing other creators. And then she does this anime reaction thing. So it's like fair use for me, but not for thee. This is a much bigger story than just Susie Lou issued a copyright strike on someone. Like there's so many moving parts to this story that
You mean Destiny
comparing
FOMO, right?
no, I'm saying Susie Lou, like, there's so many more things to Susie Lou than
Oh,
just
okay.
issuing one copyright strike. As opposed to like Destiny FOMO, it's like, well, she issued a copyright strike on some guy and, through a little bit of, conversation between the two parties involved, she eventually removed the strike.
Right, because this has been going on for the better part of a year,
Hmm.
uh, and it's
Like
only
8 or 9 months,
it's
something like
only
that.
recently that she's really taken it to the next level and affected other channels, and now it finally blew up. But you've been covering this for a long time,
Yeah.
you know. Uh,
Yeah, it's been
but
it's been almost exactly a year. As of last month, it was a year of covering this situation.
all right, so let's get into some of the things that Destiny did. Right, so
Sure.
uh, to go back to the second instance now, you had got involved and they came up with an accord that they both agreed with, Which at the time I told Jason that he had all the power in that situation, that he didn't have to agree to anything, but he was like, "Nah, I can do that. I don't mind, whatever." But
Right.
skip forward to the next situation, and she's DMing him that she still has an issue with the video, and
Hmm.
she starts threatening legal advice. Now, in that instance, how did you get involved in that one?
So in that particular situation, Overthink contacted me about it. He's like, "Hey, dude, she's like threatening me with a lawsuit now." So I'm like, "Well, that's fucked up." And I reached out to her, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? Right? Like this is dumb. Like I literally helped you avoid this situation, avoid it becoming like a big fucking thing, and now you're gonna go threatening to sue this guy? Like, what's the matter with you?" So she doubled down on it in my DMs, and I'm like, "Well, if you're not going to make it right, I have to report on this. Like, I don't have a choice." And she tried to talk me out of it for a bit, but I'm like, "No, like, you done fucked up. I helped you dodge a bullet, and you fucking jumped right back in front of the firing range again.
Right, to the
So
point
it
where
is what
it's
it
kind of
is."
putting egg on your face.
Yeah. So I ended up running a video on that because I'm like, it is what it is. I tried to help her avoid this situation, and she made it worse. So I just find that interesting that Smash would try to play this card like, oh, he's always defending Destiny FOMO, but that's not the case. Like she fucked up, and I called her out. There's still a video on my channel right now where I called her out for the legal threats. So what is he even going on about?
Right. No, you did call her out. You did for sure call her out. When you
Yeah.
when you thought that something could be worked out, you worked it out. And then when she, threw caution to the wind the second time, you called her out.
Yeah.
That's got to be pointed out.
Yeah, I
But
don't have a problem like calling out my friends when they do something wrong, right? If my friends make a mistake, then I'll try to resolve it with them behind the scenes and tell them, "Hey, you're kind of fucking up right now," and let them know about it. And if they, are going to ignore it, then I'm going to have to call them out publicly. It is what it is. Um, but there was a situation where I tried to help her, avoid it becoming a disaster, and in that case, she kind of went back to the well. And it's like, well, I mean, if you're not going to make this right, then I got to do what I got to do.
right, right.
Yeah.
So eventually this accusation comes out from this trust chill guy. Now he made a video on Destiny about her OnlyFans ad, which just in general, let me see what you think about this OnlyFans ad. What do you think about it in general?
Here's what I'll say. And I told the same thing to Destiny FOMO as well when we were talking about it. Do I think that YouTube is an appropriate place to promote an OnlyFans? No, I don't. I don't think that that's the appropriate platform to be promoting an OnlyFans. Uh, but at the end of the day, YouTube approved the ad. So I think that it's more of a problem with YouTube than it is Destiny FOMO. Yes, I agree that it's not the right place for an ad like that. But if YouTube runs the ad, then YouTube runs the ad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, the thing that confuses me about that, um, coming from another YouTuber, you know, I guess it makes for a decent video or whatever, but at the same time, it's like I don't envision myself crying to Daddy YouTube, you know, to censor more things on the platform. That's just how I look at that situation. Like Smash is sort of like tattletaling, like Carlos Maza, or what was that other guy, Watson or whatever, that was,
Oh,
doing
Matt's what it is. Yeah, the whole
right.
child
Like a
pedophilia
situation
guy.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
what it does he think by tweet? Because at one point he goes tweet at YouTube, uh, to check the video out, and is this allowed? And it's like, what do you think the end result is? You think Susan's gonna make a video saying, "Oh, I get our hypocrisy now. You guys can now say what you want, and you won't get limited ads or whatever," or best case scenario, they're gonna see that and then censor more, even more shit. You know, so I just feel like going run to YouTube is not a viable option. Not unless you're
See,
facing like, a copyright strike or something like that. But not to
see,
censor things.
I see. I actually, believe it or not, I actually disagree with you on this one in the sense that I do think that there are certain situations where people with their complaints do take things too far. You mentioned like Matt's What It Is, for example. I think that he had the right idea about we need to do something about these pedophiles in the comment sections of videos, but I think where he went overboard is like, let's boycott advertisers and let's get advertisers to drop out. In the case of this situation, where we're seeing not even just with Destiny FOMO, but a lot of these inappropriate ads, there's a legitimate criticism there that YouTube, you probably shouldn't be approving these ads on your platform, right? So I think it's safe to make that kind of criticism directed at YouTube, that these sort of things shouldn't be happening on their platform, without being concerned about, is this going to result in more censorship on our platform? Um, there becomes this point, and it's very nuanced, so it's hard to say exactly what the line is, where you can criticize something without worrying about, is this going to hurt other content creators? Is it a legitimate platform, or are we just taking something overboard? So I actually disagree with you on this one. I think that you could criticize YouTube for that.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's just my take on it. Not everybody
Yeah.
has to agree with my take, but so now this just trust chill guy, and I've got this is her original thumbnail, right, for the OnlyFans ad.
Right.
Now let's see, not that one, this one. This ends up being his thumbnail for the video, right?
That
So,
is the final one after the requested edits.
oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. It's this one.
Yeah.
My
This
bad.
one, yeah.
So this is his initial thumbnail when he releases his video, the Trust Chill guy, right?
Hmm.
And she ends up DMing him that she has an issue because it has porn in the thumbnail, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and the reason she's concerned about the porn thing is she was thinking of it at a business level where someone, a customer, a potential customer is going to maybe, come in and get into my OnlyFans. And when they don't see porn or literal nudes, they're going to be expecting a return, a refund or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, is that fair for her to go to a channel with 300 subs, and expect them to remove or change the thumbnail?
What I'll say is, and again, this is another criticism I gave to Destiny FOMO herself as well. Do I think that she should be reaching out to other creators and asking them, could you change this thumbnail for me? Or can you change this title? Things of that nature. No, I don't. I honestly think she should just ignore it. Having said that, do I think that there is a problem with reaching out to someone and asking them to make this change for her? No, I don't. I don't see an issue with that. It should be ignored, but on the surface, is there anything wrong with her asking that? As long as she's like not threatening the person or anything like that, no, I don't see a problem with it.
Now, the other issue she had was that she claimed that he just stole her thumbnail. Now, I would absolutely defer to a lawyer, given you know a conversation with him. I would defer to his opinion, right? But considering it was an OnlyFans ad, I would be tempted to call this fair use because it he added two pictures in, right, and he slightly cropped the other one a little below, and he adds in his title, and he adds in must be stopped, and he adds in his little avatar, right? And it's not that much work, it's not that much different, but I would also argue that it's pretty topical. I mean, it kind of explains exactly what the video is going to be about, and the changes he added, I would think it would be fair use, and I could be wrong, but being the fact that it's so close, I don't know. I'm leaning with you where I think reaching out to people like this does more. It's more of a risk to her reputation than to just let everything lie the way it is.
Yeah.
Now,
And in regards to the copyright status of this image, the original image that the kid had as his thumbnail, um, honestly, I don't know if that qualifies as fair use. That's one of those things that it's like so close to the line, it's hard to say. Um, like I said, I don't think that Destiny FOMO should have reached out to the kid at all. But if she is going to reach out to the kid, I don't even think that should have been the point. A point of her argument is that, like, if you're going to reach out to him and ask him to change the title and the thumbnail, like, if your biggest concern is that it says there's porn in there when you don't do porn, like, leave
make
that as your
that
main point.
right.
Like, I don't think it needed to go into a fair use argument about whether or not it's fair use. I do think that this is one of those cases where the image is so close to the line that it's hard to make a judgment call. And personally, I would like to run it by like a copyright attorney or something like that and see what their opinion is on it. But I just don't think the conversation needed to go there. She could have kept it strictly to, can you change this to remove porn, and can you change the title so it doesn't say I do porn.
Right. Now,
I don't think the copyright issue was necessary.
ultimately he ended up changing the thumbnail to this YouTube
Right.
OnlyFans ad. And but he's also making the claim now. At some point, he reached out to your news team. Is that correct?
Yes, he did reach out to one of the moderators of my server, my Discord server, and he basically wanted to submit a news story for me to cover, and it was this situation with him and Destiny FOMO.
Right. So one of the things that he claimed to me, I spoke to him during the early hours of the morning, and he made a claim to me that at some point she sent him a threatening message saying, basically, if you don't take down the thumbnail, change it up and take porn out, I'm gonna copyright strike your video down. Now
Mhm.
he also claimed that while he was literally reading it, she deleted it. So he didn't. He claimed that she had typed a few words that he didn't get to read the whole message before it got deleted. Um, so did did he mention anything of that? Like, how did you come to what was your conclusion after he reached out to you?
So he reached out to this person who is a moderator of my Discord. He was sharing information about the story with him, and he shared screenshots of basically the communication that they had together. And so we took a look at the evidence that he presented, and we're like, okay, so he's saying that she threatened him, and we're looking at it, and we're like, well, where's the threat? She definitely gets a little bit hostile, whatever, about the copyright part, but there's no threat of flagging and whatnot. He didn't mention any deleting of messages or anything of that nature. He just simply said, these are the conversations we had together. And so we're looking at the evidence, and it's like it's not there. The threat isn't there. In fact, we have a situation where he jumps to the conclusion that he's being blackmailed, and she rebuts that, like, no, I'm not blackmailing you. I don't even know why you would say that. So we looked at it and we're like, there's no threat here. And that's why we decided not to run the story, because we're like, she's not threatening him in these messages.
Right.
So
So I'm while we're talking about it, I'm showing some of the DMs between them two,
right.
and there's a certain point. There's a certain point where he claims. Let's see if I can get to it at some point. She gives him a compliment, and uh, he says that's where she tried to she deleted the message.
Okay. Well, yeah, if he said that, he didn't communicate that to us, which, I mean, if that was the case, then yeah, if she did something like that, then that's absolutely fucked up and she's worthy of criticism for that. But at the end of the day, we looked at the screenshots that he provided to us, the ones you're looking at right now, we got from him, not Destiny FOMO, and there is no threat in there. So I'm like, well, I mean, if we don't have evidence of a threat, we can't run a story about him threatening you. I'm not just going to, run a story based off speculation. We need evidence. I'm sorry. Maybe Smash is willing to run videos based on speculation with no evidence, but that's not how we do things on my show. If you don't have
Right.
evidence that shows what you claim is happening, then we're not running the story.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, and I've called out other YouTubers for doing the exact same thing. You know,
Right.
so I get it. Um, but do you think it's possible that he's telling the truth here? You know that she threatened to copyright strike him. I mean, she does believe uh that she has a case here for copyright. So it's not. I don't see it as out of the realm of possibility that you would do it.
Honestly, I
Um,
can only go off of what the evidence shows, and in this case, the evidence that the kid himself sent to us does not show it. So therefore, I can't say that she threatened him because that's not what the evidence shows.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just fixing something.
No
If
worries.
I can ever fix it. There we go. Okay. Um. So let's get into the tweet that DestinyFOMO sent, because I feel like it's going to kind of segue into a different topic. Uh, but did you see the tweet that Destiny sent towards Smash?
Yeah, she said she made some comment about the fact that he was unemployed for 3 years and that he was doing his YouTube thing, trying to get his YouTube career off the ground during that time frame.
Right. So the way Smash took that, and the way he's framing it, like it was an attack on his family, right? And framing it like that, if it would be framed up correctly, I could see maybe being offended by it, or whatever. But I don't really see it as an attack on his family.
No, it's
It
it's
was
it's
an
very
attack. It
clearly an
was it
attack on
was
him.
Yeah, it was judging him.
Yeah.
I don't see any judgment made towards his wife or his kids in that. Now, the thing about that tweet, though, him having some sort of issue with that is, and I find it kind of funny, but
Do
I'm
you
gonna.
happen to have the tweet because Smash JC is saying that's not what the tweet said? So do you want to pull that up?
Sure, we can
Yeah.
pull that up. You
I'm sure
wanna?
we got a screenshot of that somewhere.
Yeah, definitely have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Where is the case?
I mean, ask Smash. Like, I know he's been DMing you stuff, so ask him to send you a copy of it.
Well, I'm just looking up Destiny right now.
Well, if I understand, she deleted that tweet now.
Oh, did she?
I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I believe she deleted the tweet, and that's why he posted a screenshot because she deleted it. Let me see if I can find it on his Twitter. Because I
I think
mean,
somebody
I'm
had.
all
I
I'm,
think he DM'd it to me. Yeah, he DM'd it to me, so I got it.
okay, cool. Because yeah, I'm all about being transparent. If he feels like I'm being dishonest about what the tweet says, then we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I got it right here. Just give
Okay,
me give
cool.
me a
So yeah, let's
second
go
to
ahead and
pull
let's
it
take a
up.
look at this. Is that it? That looks like something else.
No,
No.
no, 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 no. That's not it. It's hold on one sec.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties here trying to get this
Trying to
shit
show it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, Discord's been such a pain in the ass ever since the start of this pandemic because everybody's using it for like teleconferencing and shit. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
It's not there yet, but give me 1 second and it will be.
for sure. Yeah, we'll be fully transparent here. He thinks we're being dishonest about the tweet, so we'll show the actual tweet.
That's not it either. It's not showing up for some reason. Oh my god, dude.
I'll give you a minute.
I
I'll
think
give
I
you some
think I
time.
got it finally.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead and pull it up so they can see it.
All right, finally.
And I'll pull it up on my end too so I can see it bigger. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and read it. At Smash JT, you try to slut shame me daily. Would you think, since you sat home for 3 years while your wife supported you, while you had no job, that you wouldn't talk shit about how people make their money? I mean, I think I summed it up pretty well. I mean, it's literally like a jab at the fact that he was unemployed for 3 years trying to play YouTuber. Am I wrong?
Right, I would definitely
I
say
don't
it's
see
directed at
him
him.
attacking. I don't see her attacking, his family or anything. There's a mention of the wife, but it's not an attack on the wife. It's an attack on him trying to play YouTuber for 3 years while he probably should have had a job.
Right. I mean, not not right. He
And
should have had a job.
that's not
I'm
a
not
and
really getting
keep
into that.
eh,
I'm just saying
yeah,
that
and keep
I
in
don't think
mind,
it's an attack on his family. It's attacking him.
yeah, and keep in mind that's not a diss at Smash. At the end of the day, if his wife is comfortable with him, trying to build up his YouTube channel for 3 years, then that's up to her. If they're perfectly fine with that in their relationship, then that's a-okay. But that is not a diss at his family. That's a diss at him for being unemployed for 3 years.
Right. But
Yeah.
here's one of the things I kind of want to get into with Smash. And up until this point, we've been cool with each other. I don't know if that's gonna change after this stream, but whatever happens is whatever. But one of the things I've noticed about Smash is he he kind of seems dumbfounded when people react to him. You know, uh, Pat, the NES punk, it seemed like the same kind of thing went down. Pat Smash made this video about Pat, right? And then at some point, Pat makes this tweet, and Smash tweets at him like, just like he's this normal guy or whatever. And then Pat, unleashes hell on him, tweeting at him or whatever. And like he's like dumbfounded, like I can't believe this guy, whatever. And it's just like, dude, when you put your opinions out there, and if you're sharing your opinions about other people, you got to expect that they're going to clap back at some point, and you
Right.
can't really, play the victim when they do that. Now,
Right.
that's how I feel, which kind of leads me into another point, which is what is your opinion on this whole punching down thing?
What do you mean
Well,
exactly?
the whole punching down argument. Don't punch down, always punch up. The idea that it's wrong as a bigger creator to speak on or make a video to uh, a smaller channel as a bigger channel.
I think it's too nuanced to just give like a yes or no, like is it okay or not. I think it all depends on the circumstances of the situation. What exactly did the person do wrong that you're calling them out for? What is the age of the person? How small are they in relation to you? What kind of fan base have you cultivated based on the type of content you create? All of these are, factors in, determining whether or not it is justified to punch down to someone. So I wouldn't say that it's absolutely like a no, like no, you can't do that. Um, but I think there's more nuance to it than just is it okay or is it not.
Right. No, I agree in certain circumstances. I think it might be morally bankrupt, and in other circumstances it's not fair to judge by those standards. Like if we're talking about, some 12-year-old that's on the internet, it might not be the best idea to, you know, pull a leafy or something and make a video about that person or
Right,
whatever,
right,
and hold them to the same standards that we're holding adults to or whatever, you know.
right.
But as far as, uh, if, I don't know, Pat responds to Smash. I think he looked at that experience and decided, well, I think that's wrong, because he experienced the backlash from that or whatever. And I've just personally always viewed it like I saw that argument coming up over the years as almost a way to shame commentary channels, like the idea that you are somehow responsible for what your audience does, and
Mm-hmm.
I've just personally never agreed with that because I think that's the sole reason that people, say you shouldn't punch down. This is the sole reason because they're blaming you for what your audience does as a result, you know.
Yeah.
I can't assign blame to a YouTuber for some crazy guy that tries to swat someone or is really inflammatory and really harassing after you make a video. I just don't agree with that.
Hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's it's very nuanced or whatever, but it is interesting that you bring up the situation with Pat because I actually went to bat for Smash on that situation. That's what's really fucked up about this whole thing is that Smash and I were cool. It wasn't until I talked to Augie when we were setting up this show where he was supposed to go on Augie's show that I found out that apparently he has like a fucking problem with me because Augie's over here talking to me like, dude, this guy fucking hates you. And I'm like, for real, that's news to me. Because I've gone to bat for this guy multiple times. I went to bat with him with Hancock. I went to bat for him when Pat went at him multiple times. Um, I just don't understand that. Like how you could just stab someone in the back like that who has had your back so many times. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He Smash might be looking at the stream as a stab in the back for me. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm trying to be as I'm not faking any of my opinions to appease you or anyone else. So uh, I don't know how it would be a betrayal, but we'll see. Um, but as far as Augie's concerned, he rubs me as the type of guy that's pretty fair and reasonable, and uh, the notion that he was kind of blindsided by that, I don't think is really fair because unless he showed up on stream and then you guys showed up, that would be blindsided, you know.
Yeah,
But he warned him, you know.
yeah. And I guess we can get into like the reason why I was there in that call. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, Augie does a show called RFC After Hours. It's a live stream show where they talk about various situations in the YouTube community. It's like a drama show basically. And somebody brought up the idea of covering the Destiny FOMO situation on there. So Augie reaches out to me because he's like, "Hey, we're gonna do a call with Smash, but I really want to have Destiny FOMO on to tell her side of the story." And keep in mind, top loaded, he has all the screenshots of all the conversations here, so he can show them whenever he wants. But Augie reaches out to me and says, "Can you ask her if she wants to come on?" So I'm like, "All right, yeah, I could do that, absolutely." So I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, Augie wants to know if you want to come on and have a conversation. It's a pretty fair and balanced show. I think it would be a good idea for you to tell your side of the story. Do you want to go on and have a conversation about this on his show?" And
Right. So
initially
so
she
you could
declined.
you could see right here that Augie was actually the first person to bring it up. Can you message Destiny FOMO and tell her I'm reporting the story with Smash JT and he'll be calling in
You might want to zoom in a little bit so they can see it better. It's kind of small. There you go.
uh and ask if she would like to come in for her side so it's fair. And then obviously, you reply and you'll DM her, right?
Hmm. So this notion that I just kind of like inserted myself into the situation is blatantly false because that's not what happened. As you'll see as we look through more of these DMs. So she declined, and I let her Augie know there that she declined. I don't know if you showed. Did you show her part of the conversation?
Yeah. I
Okay,
didn't
there
I
we
didn't
go.
stick
You might
long
have to
on it.
zoom out a little
I
bit.
didn't I didn't stick long on it, but
Okay, and you might have to zoom out a little bit so they could actually see it.
there we go.
Yeah. So basically, I took it to her. I'm like, hey, Augie wants to have you on, and I think it's a good idea for you to go on so you can, share your side of the story. And initially, she wasn't having it. She's like, no, honestly, I think I'm just gonna ignore it or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll let him know, and that's exactly what I did. I went back to Augie and I said she doesn't want to come on, and he was kind of bummed about it. So it was what it was. But later on, she reached out to me again and she says, well, would you go on with me? And then I would be willing to go on. And I said, I'll run it by Augie and see if he's okay with that. And he was okay with that. So that's essentially what happened at that point is like, okay, well, she's going to come on, um, because she wants me to be there with her. I don't know why she wants me there with her, but this notion that I inserted myself into the situation is just blatantly false. I didn't insert myself into the situation. Augie asked me to ask her if she wanted to go on. She said no, and then she changed her mind. She said, if you go on with me, I'll go on. And I ran it by Augie. He was fine with it. And that's what it was.
Right.
That's it. I
Well,
didn't insert myself to try and defend her or, to try and ambush Smash or any stupid shit like that. As a matter of fact, Augie told him that Tipster said he's going to be muted. I'm not going to interact unless people ask me a question. But I guess that wasn't enough for Smash because he ended up bitching out at that interview.
yeah.
And I see
So,
Smash in the chat asking, why does she need you there to protect her? I don't fucking know. I wasn't the one that offered to protect her or anything like that. She asked me, and I'm like, well, Augie really wants her on the show. So if Augie's okay with this stipulation, then that's up to Augie. And Augie said, okay, if that's what it's going to take to get her on, then that's what it takes to get her on.
right. Right.
And I like how he's like completely dodging that in the chat. Dude, you don't have a chance with her. Give it up. So we just debunked your whole point of your video about how I was inserting myself into the situation. And your answer is give it up. You don't have a chance with her. It says a lot about, the fact that you don't have an actual rebuttal here, Smash. Am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, it's not really that big of a comeback, but I don't know. You asked, you don't know why she would want to, get you on with her, but honestly, it's only one of two things. Uh, it's honestly only one of two things, and it's either that through the overthink gaming fiasco, the three-way call that y'all did where y'all got to work something out and all that, she became more comfortable with you, and sort of trusts you, so she feels more comfortable, or she really is as bad as Smash says, and she's manipulating you, and she knows you're gonna have her back. That's what I see as the two possibilities, and I don't know which one is which, man. Because I'm a kind-hearted person. I kind of tend to look, at the good in people. So sometimes I get taken advantage of for that, and it happens. I'm gonna be honest about it. Sometimes it happens. So she could be fooling me. I think it's possible that she might be fooling you. I mean, if would it be fair to say that if have you actually asked her if she threatened that kid? Like, in other words, if it came out that she actually did threaten her, does that mean she lied to you?
I did ask her that. And I mean, obviously she's going to say no. Like if she's lying to me or she's telling the truth, like the answer's going to be no, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, all I could do is look at the evidence that the kid himself presented to my team, and the evidence doesn't show what the kid says it shows. So
Right.
it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I get that. I'm just saying if
Right?
it ends up coming out somehow that
I mean, if it ends up coming out that she lied and the kid was telling the truth, then at that point, then we have a story.
because
But
to be
at this
fair,
moment,
are we kind of worried? The both of us are we kind of worried that Destiny is kind of teetering on that path where she needs to not worry about all this shit so much, and that if she doesn't stop, she may end up walking down the mundane mat path. You know, the same path that Eric found himself on. Are we not in agreement that she's teetering on that right now by doing all this stuff?
In all honesty, I 100% I do think that she needs to just ignore this shit. And I told her that recently, and I've told her that in the past, and I hope that at some point in time she actually heeds that warning, because she really shouldn't be addressing this stuff. If anything, she blows it up more by addressing it or responding to it or reaching out to people to change thumbnails and stuff like that. Um, Honestly, this kid's channel so small, nobody probably would have even seen this video if she hadn't reached out to him at all. Now, many more people have seen it than would have seen it if this never happened. So I absolutely agree. She should not have. She should not be doing things like this. She should not be reaching out to these people, and she should just be ignoring this stuff. But at the end of the day, she's her own person, and I have no control over what she does. I can only give her advice on what I think she should do, and in this case, no, I don't think she should be reaching out
Right.
to
No,
these
no. I
people.
just think there's a lot of people in the chat that are kind of saying, they're not going to say anything bad about Destiny or whatever. But I mean,
I mean,
we're
we all know that's blatantly false because there's a
we're
video on my
criticizing
channel
her.
right now of me being critical of her when
Uh,
she threatened to sue Overthink. So, I mean,
but I
at
mean,
the end
here's
of the
the
day,
thing.
they can make that
Here's the
claim all they
thing.
want.
It seems like redemption today is like out the fucking window. You know, like a lot of these channels that will cover certain things that are being done wrong. Like, let me ask you this: if Susie Lou tomorrow was like, she started DMing you, right? Maybe you have her blocked, so maybe somebody has to get in touch with you initially and says, Susie Lou's trying to get in touch with you, whatever. And she's like, look, I want to talk to you privately. I've been wrong this entire time. I admit that, whatever. I'm ready to make amends, whatever. Would you allow her to do that?
Absolutely. I've even invited her to, have conversations with me, and it doesn't just have to be on my show. Like, let's have a chat. And she's not willing to have those conversations. I try to be as fair as possible. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a human being, so I do have my biases, absolutely. But if I feel like I can, maybe have a different perspective on a situation by talking to a person, or maybe there's something more to the story, so maybe I need to have a conversation with the subject of the video, like, that's not a problem. uh, I've invited Susie Lou to have a conversation with me multiple times. She has my email. My Discord's public. I don't have a Twitter, unfortunately, but there are many ways to reach out to me, and I'm sure Susie Lou's aware of all of them. So if she ever wanted to reach out to me, like, that's not an issue. We can have a sit down conversation. I mean, we tried to have a sit down conversation on Augie's show last year, so it's not like I'm opposed to talking to her, even after, the slanderous claims she made about me. I'm still willing to have a conversation with her if she's willing.
Right.
It's
And I
all to her
noticed in
court.
the very first video you had extended uh, that offer to her. So I again, I don't see them being comparable, but there's also the stream with Augie where y'all tried talking to her, and it ended up coming out with her flag history, and the infamous Nick Diorio no Susie moment happened on
Yeah,
on there, and that was
it's a classic,
hilarious.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it absolutely had parallels to the mundane Matt clip, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But getting back to the tweet for a second with Smash JT. Now he said he had this issue and it was unprofessional, right? So I need to ask you about this other thing. He actually DM'd me shortly before we came on,
Okay.
and he wants me to bring up Alyssa White. Now, I'm familiar. I'm sort of familiar with Alyssa White because
Right.
I've been on YouTube a long time, and I was in the retro gaming community for part of it, and I think a lot of retro gaming video channels know who Alyssa White is. They came across her at some point or another, So I'm
Right.
familiar with her. But what would he be alleging about Alyssa White? Like not what would he be alleging? Because what he's alleging is that you and Alyssa White have some sort of history that it literally almost caused your marriage. Now, uh, what sort of history do you have with her, if any?
So we do have a history. We've been friends for a really long time. We've done collaborations together. Back when I used to be a retro gaming channel, I did a collaboration on my channel, and we did one on hers where I did an interview. She used to do a show called Geek to Geek, and I appeared on that show. And we're still friends to this day. We talk not as often as we used to, but we still keep in touch from time to time. And yeah, we're just friends. I guess the point he's trying to make is that I'm a simp for her as well. There was never a problem with my marriage involving Alyssa White. If you actually look at her Facebook, my wife is actually friends with her on Facebook. Like, there's no problem with that. There's no issue there or
Right,
anything like that.
and full disclosure, I reached out to Tipster before the stream to actually talk to him about that.
Right.
One of my concerns with that was Alyssa White herself, and I didn't feel like it was really a good situation for me to be like, hey, look, your name's gonna come up on this stream. Like, she may remember me slightly, but I doubt it. And to the point of being comfortable enough, for me to message her like that, no. And that was one of the first things that you came up with was I'm gonna message her and give her a heads up. Um, so full disclosure, I mentioned that to you prior,
Right.
but you showed me a screen cap of your wife is actually friends with Alyssa. So to
Hmm.
me, if there's any sort of like jealousy or whatever, that kind of just throws it to the wayside, and like I don't see it.
I,
I don't.
I I just think it's ridiculous too that people would try to make the argument that it's another one of those things like where the definition of simp is so overused that, like, okay, I'm a friend with this girl and I've been a friend with this girl for so many years that it makes me a simp. Well, if that's the case, I'm a really shit simp because the guy that she's engaged to right now, I helped introduce them together. So I must be a really shitty simp if I'm setting her up with some other guy.
But I mean, at the
I don't
same
know.
time, like acting outrage that Destiny FOMO brought his wife into things, and some of the people in the chat are like, you don't bring up someone's wife or whatever. Like, here Smash is, doing that, and to be fair, I questioned you about it. I
Ain't
questioned
that
you
ain't
on
that some
stream, and
bullshit about, like, he's so concerned about, like, her bringing up his wife, which he didn't even bring up his wife in a negative manner, but he's willing to bring up this shit that could potentially have, like, a negative impact on my marriage? It seems a bit hypocritical if you ask me.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, if it went somewhere, I guess we cover it. We can talk about it, But uh, one thing I
Kind of
told him.
slimy of him to catch Alyssa White off guard too by trying to bring this up stealth like that. So
Well,
good on you for giving me a heads up so I can warn her and let her know, like, hey, just a heads up, this stream's happening today, and Smash is trying to use you as a tool to prove his point or whatever. Um,
well, one
I
one
let her know.
thing
I gave her a
one
heads up.
thing I told him was like, look, this interview's not a hit piece. you know it's trying to get to the bottom of something, period, the truth
Right.
wherever it may lie. So you know I don't really have an issue with hitting him up with that first, and especially when you consider like what are her feelings going to be about this. I mean, it's a pretty big accusation to be throwing around.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
shitty to
whoever,
just kind of throw somebody into a situation when they
and
have
and
no
me not
involvement in it.
knowing who she's with, how long she's been with that person, if that person's gonna now be involved and they're gonna have like, it's just I didn't really feel comfortable myself. Maybe I'm wrong for that, but I didn't really feel comfortable myself just bringing it up and
Yeah, it's a really
surprising.
slimy fucking thing
Yeah.
to do.
So, and that wasn't the point. This wasn't supposed to be a fucking like hidden camera just whipped out at the last second, pointed in your face, and what's this about? What's that about? Whatever. No. It was supposed to be let's fucking talk this out, and let the facts lay where they may. That's it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And I think another thing I want to go over, because I don't think we got a chance to go over this yet, is in Smash's video, he kind of tries to make it seem like um, Augie wasn't transparent about the reason why I was coming on the show. Because again, I wasn't trying to be a guest on the show. I didn't want to be on the show. And even when Augie gave me the okay, I made it very clear, like, I'm not involved. I'm just going to be there muted because for whatever reason she wants me there. Augie wanted her on the show, so I was going to go on the show because she was more comfortable that way, right? But Smash tried to frame it in his video like, you know, Augie wasn't fully transparent with him about the reason I was coming on the show. And I want to debunk that because Augie shared the DMs with me of his conversation with Smash, and it doesn't show that. Do you mind showing those DMs?
Yeah, sure.
I think that's really important because, like, as we know with Destiny FOMO, I'll go to bat for my friends if I think people are accusing them of something that's false. And I want to go to bat for my homie Augie right now because I think that it's really messed up that Smash would basically call him out in that video for something that is blatantly false.
Now wait, are you talking about when you and Augie start talking about
Not the conversation with me and Augie and me and Destiny FOMO, the DMs with him and Smash where they were setting up this interview.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So in his video, he says that uh, Augie wasn't clear with him about the reason why I was there, and that's false. Augie was clear with him about the reason why I was coming on to the interview, and he was clear with him that I wasn't going to interfere.
Right. Here they come.
Yeah. Smash says that I'm misleading in the chat. Well, let's let the DM speak for themselves, buddy. See what you have to say about that. If you have a proper rebuttal to this shit.
All right, so first, Augie, do you want to call into my show at 8 p.m., talk about the Destiny girl? Smash says, sure thing, would love to. I have to pick up a reserved dinner, though, so I can't stay too late. Hey, man, I'm moving the show to tomorrow, but same time, I got busy today working on a video. But I am working on getting DestinyFOMO and Tipster on too, so we can get down to the bottom of this. Are you still in? Smash says, ugh, I pushed my dinner back up for it. Nah, I have no interest in being on with them, to be honest. Tipster's a simp for her, and they just make excuses for her actions. I got no respect for her or Tipster after what he said about me privately. People have shared that with me via DM, PM, private message, I guess. I said my piece. She had her chance to speak with me. Maybe let me think about it. To me, those people are trash. I used to respect Tipster too. He let his recent Susie Lou success start going to his head. Augie says, really think about it. I didn't think I'd be able to get access to her side because I want to be fair and break this down, but I watched your video and I'm curious what she would argue in a conversation setting. Smash says, watch this 30-second clip. I'm not sure what that was. It's your boy Tipster or something.
It's a clip from my stream, the same clip likely the same clip that he used in his video about me.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, that makes sense. Smash says, apparently my videos on her, like I said, Tipster's a simp for her man. Let me guess, it was his idea to come on with her on your show. Here's the thing, there's no reason for Tipster to even be involved. Let's let Destiny defend herself. Ask yourself, why does he even need to be there? And Augie starts to say, here's the deal. I reached out to you because I want to talk to you. And then I was like, hey, why not see if she's up for a convo too, just to be fair. And Tip is the only person I know who has contact to her. And she agreed to come on only if Tip is there, which is not ideal for me because it tips the scale of what's fair.
I think you have to zoom out a little bit more too to show.
Oh, is that what it is? My bad.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My point that I'm trying to make with these, by the way, because I see Smash getting super defensive in the chat, is that Smash in his video, he keeps asking the question, why is Tipster there? Why did Tipster have to insert himself into this situation? Well, Augie told him he didn't need to ask that question in his video because Augie told him exactly why I was there, because DestinyFOMO didn't want to come on unless I was there. So why you got to ask that question in your video, Smash, when you knew why? And you also knew that I wasn't going to interfere because Augie told you I was going to be muted. And I wasn't going to get myself involved at all unless I was specifically asked a question. Anyway, you can go ahead and continue reading the DM. Sorry about that.
Right. So I'm looking for it. Fair enough. I'm not going to force you to do anything, and I get why you're declining. Just thought I'd try and reach out. We'll look at this as impartially as possible.
There was more to that one you were reading earlier. I got them pulled up here too. Give me 1 second. Okay, so back on that one.
Oh yeah,
you were reading.
which is not. It tips the scale of what's fair. But I promise you, if we do this, I will keep it balanced and not let them override you or dismiss your criticism.
Right.
Right. So I'm looking for the part where he actually tells Smash that it was his idea or whatever. The part you just referenced.
Well, it wasn't his idea. It was DestinyFOMO. She asked. I mean, he said it in the last screenshot that you showed that she didn't want to come on unless I was on there.
Yeah, no,
so
I misspoke.
So why is he asking the question of why I was going to be on the show in his video when Augie told him? He knew exactly why I was there. And later on in the conversation, Augie tells him that I'm going to be muted and I'm not interfering. So why is Smash asking, why is Tipster on the show when Augie told him?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's gonna come up. I mean, when the whole Eric thing came down, you know, we all got on a stream together, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I can kind of maybe see his side of it, you know, like, you know, why does Tipster have to be involved? But if you know anything about Augie and Tipster, they're kind of friends. I would say
I wouldn't even
it's
position
predictable.
it in that way, because I feel the same way. I feel like I didn't need to be there, but at the end of the day, Augie asked me to get her if I can get her on the show, and initially she declined, but then she said, "Would you come on with me?" And I said, "I'll run it by Augie." Augie and I had a call to basically bring that to him. Hey, she said that she is willing to come on, but she wants to know if I can come on with her. And Augie's like, he said the same thing that he told Smash. Like, I don't know, dude, that seems like a bit much. And I'm just like, I just wanted to run that by you because that's what she asked.
Right. No, I guess I'm just saying that, you know, if it was a different channel, that possibly, you know, the person in Augie's place wouldn't have necessarily just automatically agreed, like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna let Tipster on my channel, who I don't even know. Whereas, you know, you've been on their streams, you know, you've possibly been a bigger YouTuber for them to, you know, for him to maybe get advice from and stuff like that, you know. Whereas he wouldn't necessarily be exposed.
Nice rebuttal, Smash. Tipster, my hero, FOMO. Yeah, that definitely addresses the question that we were asking here. Good clap back, my dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. Is there anything else that you'd really like to get into?
Let me see if I have anything else, because I did take some notes to see if there was anything I wanted to address. So you made it seem like I forced my way into the interview with Augie. No. He did say that I wasn't giving Susie Lou the same kind of treatment. Like, why am I, you know, giving DestinyFOMO this special kind of treatment or whatever? You know, why am I willing to help her resolve this situation? And I have a couple points there as to why, you know, why not give Susie Lou the special treatment and try and help her resolve a situation. First of all, Susie Lou's not my friend. DestinyFOMO is, right? So if you're my friend and I think I can help you resolve something peacefully, absolutely, I'm going to reach out to you and try to help you resolve it. The other thing is, as we mentioned before, I actually have offered to talk to Susie Lou and, you know, try to get her side of the story out there, or maybe come to some kind of resolution on things. That definitely happened. So it's not like I didn't try it. And lastly, why the fuck would I try to help out someone now that tried to slander me and try to convince the entire, community that I go around harassing people and shit like that? Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious why I'm not giving the same treatment to Susie Lou.
Right. I mean, I think that all falls back on us talking about how, that they're just not comparable, but uh yeah, I mean, they're just not. And in the past I've actually talked to you before. I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to call someone out that was, let's just, not somebody I really wanted to call out over something I didn't really want to call them out for. And I talked to you about, being a commentary channel, and whether you
Can
have
I
to.
can I cut can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry. So Smash says that he doesn't, slut shame Destiny FOMO, but meanwhile in the chat right now he's literally adding Destiny FOMO to say, "Don't you have some smut to be making right now?"
Yeah.
But he's never slut shamed Destiny FOMO, right? Never happened. But he's not saying that in the chat right now. I find that odd. He likes to use the defense that I've never said anything like that in any of my videos. Okay, fair enough.
Simon
But there's
Stevens.
screenshots of you saying it on Twitter and in comment sections, and now we have an example of you saying it in a live stream here. So you can't say that you've never slut shamed her, because you definitely have. We're looking at it right now.
Right. So the whole slut shaming thing in general, though, um that is kind of a newer turn of phrase, is it not? Like, kind of with the
Um,
whole PC movement sort of thing. I think it became more of a in-house term than it was in the
I
past. Is that fair to say?
I mean, maybe it's used more frequently now, but I wouldn't say like it's a new thing. Like it's definitely been a thing that's been a while for quite some time. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But not. I guess it's not a topic people necessarily cared about. Just even 15 years ago, right? Is
yeah.
that fair to say? So I think people even our age, maybe look at the term slut shaming like, I'm gonna be real, that sort of thing. And uh I guess I'm not even saying that he's necessarily. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm still actually gathering how I think about it, to be completely honest with you, because on one hand, I feel like he's being real, and on the other hand, it seems like he's really fucking bothered by it, by what she does for a living, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't get
Why
why.
is if a woman is out there comfortable enough to do that sort of thing, why does it fucking matter? And I'm pretty consistent in this because I don't have an issue with, women having an OnlyFans or women, doing adult entertainment or anything like that. I don't understand why it's such a fucking problem. It comes off as like this, incel or MGTOW type mentality. I mean, obviously, Smash isn't an incel or a MGTOW because he's a married man, which good for him. But it really comes off that way. Like, why is there such this fucking problem with women doing that sort of thing? I think there are legitimate criticisms in certain ways. Like, for example, Twitch streamers who are using their Twitch page to promote their OnlyFans, or even in this case, Destiny FOMO using YouTube ads to promote her OnlyFans. I think those are legitimate criticisms, but why is Smash and people like him so ass mad about women using their assets to make money? Why is that such a problem? Why do you have such an issue with that?
Well, okay, let's pose this question. Do you lot It's a Gundam in that same category that's ass mad about, you know, women?
See, I think we talked about this before in a private conversation. And the thing about It's a Gundam is when he has a go at, like a booby streamer or something like that, there are legitimate criticisms to be had there, right? I think that if a woman is overly sexualized on Twitch, where it's like borderline breaking the rules, that is a legitimate criticism to have. There's nothing wrong with criticizing a woman for doing that. Or if you have a situation like Alinity where she's like tossing her cat around the room and she's not getting banned for it, then absolutely you can criticize women for those types of things. But if the criticism is just it's a good looking woman who's streaming or it's a good looking woman who does YouTube videos, like I don't see that as a valid criticism. I think it's just nitpicking at that point.
Right. Like I don't remember really it's a Gundam video where he's just like, look at how she dress. You know, it's usually criticizing entitlement, you know, in the vein of entitlement, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or you know, showing hypocrisies on how, you know, if they're you know, a piggy bank for Twitch, they won't tend to ban them for anything, but yet you know, a guy can do this or whatever. So it's those type of things, and it's also really in a lens of trying to make it as funny and as entertaining as possible. It's not, doesn't really come off as like, hey, I'm gonna shit on this person for the next 20 minutes.
Right.
Know?
I mean, and I have no problem with being critical of women. I mean, you could just look to my YouTube channel that I have no issue with that. I mean, Smash himself used the example of me covering the Susie Lou thing. So I obviously don't have a problem criticizing women. You know, I've covered Alinity, I've covered Susie Lou, I covered Invader V when she was demanding people, you know, sub to her channel. Like, there's nothing wrong with being critical of women who say or do stupid shit. That's fine. But if you're just going to nitpick because, well, she's a good looking chick in front of a camera, well, now you're just being an asshole at that point, right?
What was the comment? What was the comment that she left that you asking me to mention? Someone in the chat's mentioning.
What was that?
Someone in the chat is mentioning that I should mention what she said in the chat.
She said, according to Smash, that shouldn't he be focusing on Mother's Day instead of stuff like this? And his clapback was, shouldn't she be focusing on making more smut? Seems a little 0 to 100 real quick, right? To go from shouldn't you be focusing on Mother's Day to shouldn't you be focusing on making smut? I mean, that's the way I see it.
Destiny's comment is kind of, you know, obnoxious in a way, but what's so inflammatory about it that you go to like, well, shouldn't you be focusing on smut? I guess you know, to be fair, he's trying to say that she preempted him to say something.
I mean, yeah, she definitely provoked a response, 100%, and I would agree that should she have said that in the chat? No.
Now, see, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. Like, this was an issue with 8-Bit Eric. Okay, so 8-Bit Eric, you know, when he was down this hole, you know, maybe Smash JT would still argue that he's still down the hole or whatever. You know, it remains to be seen. We'll take it a day at a time with that. Okay, but I think Eric's not in the same place that he was, because when Eric was in that place, he had to call or text and vent constantly, and he just doesn't do that anymore. I really doubt he's in that same headspace. But while he was in that headspace, he would poke the bear, right? So, you know, if Destiny's like, you know, you slut-shaming me and playing the victim, is it also fair to say like she needs to stop poking the bear?
Oh, yeah, I was getting at that. Like, I don't think that she should have given him that response in chat. And I've told her time and time again, and I'll tell her now, I know she's watching, you need to just ignore this shit. Like, it's not going to do you any better to address this stuff. I mean, just look at this situation here where we have some kid claiming that you threatened him, you know, if you don't, you know, he doesn't change his thumbnail or whatever. None of this would have blown up. Nobody would have even saw this video. This kid has under 1,000 subscribers. Nobody would have even knew this situation was a thing.
Like,
if you
look at the Barbara Streisand effect.
The criticism is there, and the criticism is valid that she shouldn't be responding to these things, right?
The Streisand effect. It's still not on your channel. You know, it's on my channel. I'm a smaller channel. You know, so in that way, I guess she kind of lucked out. But at the same time, it's you know, the Streisand effect. You know, now people may respond to this as well and make videos. And all she had to do was ignore someone's thumbnail and short video. You know, uh, I don't know, man. It just I'm becoming more and more impatient with it. I think she's a decent person. You know that they have this narrative right now, and I'm not gonna lie. At one time, I kind of, you know, thought that at one point. But after talking with Destiny, they have this conspiracy theory, right? That it's actually some guy's collection, right? And the guy had this bright idea to just put, you know, a pair of tits in front of his collection, and then his channel, their channel, would take off, right?
Mhm.
And and to be fair, uh, you brought this up as well, but I mean, you can talk to Destiny, and she can hold a conversation. And it's really hard to fucking do that while you faking it.
Right. Like it's one thing if it's like she's tweeting about like nerd culture stuff, right? Like that could be faked. She could easily get the boyfriend on the Twitter and he could tweet stuff for her. But when you're having a conversation with someone and they're having snap responses about, I don't know, let's say you're talking about the Resident Evil series, right? I just happen to be a fan of the Resident Evil game series, so that's the first thing that came to mind. But if you're having a conversation with Destiny about the Resident Evil series, and she actually knows what she's talking about. There's no hesitation. There's instant responses like, "Oh yeah, I loved, this voice actor's performance, as Leon in Resident Evil 2 remake," or uh, she actually knows knowledge about the game series. That to me doesn't seem like someone who's a fake gamer, right? Like or a fake nerd. Like she actually knows what she's talking
Oh,
about.
like even
So I
comic
always
books, like
thought that
she's
speculation
collecting
that she's fake
X
is just
Force and all
weird.
kinds of comic books, and has knowledge of
Right.
them. You know, like
Yeah.
I even and she's younger, and at one point I even referenced the early '90s X-Men Fox series that I grew up with, and she knew all about it. She had
Mhm.
watched them already. Like, you know, how does someone fake knowledge like that? You know,
Mhm. And
um,
and then we also you and I had a private conversation where this particular subject came up, and I'm like, first of all, I know she's not a fake gamer because we've had conversations about games and she can actually hold a conversation. That's number one. But the other thing is, let's say for the sake of argument that it was fake, that it was just her boyfriend propping her up or her husband propping her up, whatever the case may be, in front of his game collection and like let's grow a massive YouTube channel while you have your boobies hanging out or something like that, right? Um, this may be a controversial opinion, but it's my opinion nonetheless. Who cares? There's lots of people who portray a fake persona on the internet. If you think the YouTubers you're watching are all genuine, I hate to break it to you guys, but most of them are not. They're putting on a persona for you guys. The person that they portray in front of the camera is not the person you get in real life. There are actually tons of channels where the person in front of the camera is a character. So even if that were the case, which it is not, who the fuck cares?
right. I'm kind of right there with you on that one. Like if if I had the opportunity, I would do the same thing. It's not a bad idea, but at the same, it is a little niche. Like if you're gonna do that, why do it in a niche, community? Why not just go straight to gaming in general, or just do that in general? Why put it in the retro gaming niche? You know,
Yeah.
it just seems counterproductive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why somebody would do something like that. Personally, I feel like if you're gonna be on the camera, it's better to be genuine with your audience. And that's the way I try to run my channel. But the reality is, there are channels out there where the person you see in front of the camera is not the same person they are in real life. It happens that way. But I don't think that's the case with Destiny FOMO because, like we said before, like she actually knows what she's talking about. If you're in a voice call with her, you're talking about something, she can hold a conversation in relation to geek culture, gaming culture. She's a fan of wrestling. She can hold a conversation in regards to wrestling knowledge. Like she actually knows what she's talking about.
Right. So, do you feel like we've adequately covered, pretty much everything? Is there anything left being unsaid?
I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head. The only thing I could say is, everybody in the chat saying it's one-sided, and I've seen some people suggest bringing Smash on. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that if you're open to it.
I'm fine with it. It's completely up
If
to him.
Smash wants to come on, like, you're welcome to bring him on, and that's fine.
It's completely up to him.
Okay. We'll wait and see what he says, man.
Completely up to Smash if he wants to come on.
So at least this way, earlier in the chat, he was saying that, they wouldn't let him on or whatever. Now he knows that he's more than welcome to get on.
Right.
Just waiting.
So if I were to add him to the call, I'm not
never got an invite. Here's your invite right now, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the whole purpose of this thing was just for me to tell my side of the story. But I'm not opposed to having a conversation with you. So,
well,
did you get an upfront invite? No, admittedly, no, you didn't. But if you want to have a conversation, I'm right here. We can have a conversation.
All right, here we go. Because I think I'm actually gonna have to.
You should be able to add him to this call.
I can.
If you hit the plus, yeah, if you hit the plus sign at the top, there's like a little icon with a person. No, not right there. Hover over where our display pictures are, where you can see our screens. And when you do that, at the top, it's going to bring up an option to add someone to a call, and you can do that. I'm looking at where you're at on the stream, and that's not it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're talking about.
Okay,
man.
so the screen where it's showing like your webcam and my picture. If you hover over that in the top right, it'll bring up it looks like an icon with a person and a
add
plus
friends
sign.
to DM.
And you can click on that and you can add him.
My bad.
No worries.
Calling you now, dude.
Yellow?
I'm here.
Okay. So we'll just wait and see if he picks up.
We'll give him a little bit. I'm not sure he completely expected that was gonna happen. So
yeah, and in fairness, he wasn't given an upfront invite, so
man, I was not ready for this.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, so that we were fine giving you a little bit of time to get things together.
Look at me getting hopped in here. Hold on, let me put a headset on.
I'm here.
Hold on, let me close the door. I got my kid screaming in the background.
Give him a little bit. I'm not sure he completely expected that was gonna happen. So
yeah, and
are you getting an echo?
yeah, it's because he doesn't have his headphones connected yet. Once he gets that connected,
right, there we go.
Okay.
Hold on, these don't work.
Well, and just when I thought we were about done, they pulled me back in.
I'm all about fairness and inviting him on. So
awesome. All right. Well, I got a lot to say, man.
For sure.
All right. Let me mute my. All right, there we go. You there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, yeah, where do I even freaking start? Why don't you start, Trevor? Why don't you tell me where you even want to go with this? I feel like I'm hopping in and I don't even know where to start.
Well, to be fair, man, I wasn't even going to extend an invitation. It's not like I didn't want you to come in here, but I figured it would only be fair to offer you a stream by yourself afterwards. So that was my plan going forward. So as far as you coming on here, I have no plan. So it's pretty much what you want to come on here and say.
All I got to say is after listening to this entire stream, I am just convinced that Tipster is a simp for DestinyFOMO. That's what
How did you come to that conclusion?
Just how you keep defending her every chance you get. Like
I don't defend her every chance I get. Are you forgetting about the time I called her out for threatening to sue Overthink? Does that just completely exit your brain?
Oh, that was one video. Like,
What about the criticisms that I gave her on this stream about how she should just ignore people, how she shouldn't be
that's
DMing
not a
people?
criticism. That's just obvious.
That's not a crit. Oh, are you really going to make that dishonest argument, my dude? I literally criticized her that
You're
she should not be
losing your
contacting
mind.
people.
You're losing your mind just
Let's
talking.
not
I
let's
don't
not
think so.
devolve
Listen to
into
yourself,
screaming
man.
though. Let's
I
try and
have
keep
my
it civil.
I have my questions of if that Destiny FOMO in the chat is even Destiny FOMO. By the way, there's no way to even tell. So
Yeah, unfortunately, they changed it so you can't click on the name anymore.
which is bullshit, by the way, because people can
What?
really
For
fucking
real?
dumb. Yeah, they changed it. You can't click on the name anymore and go to the channel. It's so dumb.
It's awful.
It literally opens an image. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It encourages people to make fake accounts.
Destiny, if that's really you, send me a DM on Discord, please, just so we can verify that's actually you.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
I know for a fact she's watching because when we were trying to get a screenshot of that tweet, she sent me a copy. But by then you had already gotten it, so
I wouldn't doubt it. I sent her the thumbnail when I announced it, so.
Oh man, that's awesome. She wrote "It's me" in the chat.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it.
Oh boy. Okay. Wow.
So look. Here's one thing I want to say about Destiny, right? And this is kind of, I guess, one of the reasons I've been what Smash would probably call overly lenient towards. When the whole thing happened with Overthink Gaming, I really looked at Destiny like someone who was really kind of new to criticism and the internet, the way things work, Barbra Streisand effect, that whole thing, which typically in the type of channel that I ran in my past, which is not involving gaming, I ran across that type of person all the time. And it took them a while to adjust to it, you know? And that's kind of how I figured she was. And as she's not, you know, acclimating herself to that, I'm judging her more and more as time goes on, you know. But I also feel like, you know, maybe like I said earlier, I look for the best in people, and sometimes I get taken advantage of as a result. So, you know, maybe it's possible she's manipulating my better nature. It's possible, you know, but anyways.
I mean, where do I even start?
Wherever you want.
Tipster, why do you feel the need to be injected into Augie's stream? Which, by the way, you were misrepresenting the messaging between Augie and me, and by the way, misrepresenting my take on Augie in my video. I didn't say anything negative about him. I didn't say that he was anything wrong. Like the way you were talking about how I was making him look bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? Augie, I said in my video, I said he's an up and coming YouTuber that I want to give him I want to spend some time and talk with him and stuff. And I'm like, why does Tipster have to be a part of this? And you are trying to justify why you need to insert yourself into this conversation that has nothing to do with you. If you want to stop simping for Destiny FOMO, you know what you got to do? You need to go to Destiny and say, hey, Destiny, look, I can't be there, but Smash is going to be there and they'd love to talk to you. Why do you say, oh, I'll be there for you? And if she says, oh, I'm only going to do it if you go with me, then sorry. Tell her to say sorry. That's not working for me.
So are your eyes and ears not working? Because we literally addressed this point like 20 minutes ago, my dude. How is Augie asking me to ask her if she will come on, me inserting myself into the situation?
Because you are saying you have to be a part of it. Like, no.
No, I'm not. That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
Can you be a part of this? Yes or no? No? Okay, cool. And then she reaches out and says, I'll do it if you come on with me. You know what you say back? No, I'm not a part of this. If you'd like to do it, go ahead. That has nothing to do with you.
Look, it's Augie's fucking show. So if she says, can you go on with me? I say, okay, I'll ask Augie. And then at that point, the ball is in Augie's court.
Which in this going to be muted in the background? What the fuck would that accomplish?
Well, let me ask you this: Did
Augie?
Why
she wanted me there. You'll have
to ask
weird.
Her. That's so weird.
Did Augie?
But here's the problem.
Did Augie or not saying that? Invite? Did Augie? Yes or no? Allow you to invite someone of your own? I just want to put that out there. Did he allow you to like, hey, you can bring a friend if you want, if that makes you feel more comfortable? Yeah, you Jeff.
Yeah, he did. And I said, no, I don't want this to keep growing. I want this to be, first off, I thought it was me and Augie. And I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then he somehow pushed it back the next day and then started including other people and was like, hey, if you want to balance it off and add something. I'm like, no, that you're ruining the whole point of this. Like, it's not, let's add a fucking Royal Rumble with everyone. Let's just talk about this. Me and you, let's talk about it. You want to add Destiny? You want her to defend herself? Okay. Where does Tipster fit into all
But here's the problem. You keep saying I injected myself into the situation. How is Augie asking me if she can come on, me injecting myself into the situation?
Because you're saying I'll go. She'll only go if I go with her. That's not a good response.
But no, that's not me injecting myself into the situation.
It is.
Me injecting myself into the situation would be me saying, hey, I'll get her to come on, but I have to be there. No, that's not what happened. Augie asked me to ask her, and she eventually said, if you will come on with me, I'll go on. That is not me injecting myself into the situation.
She sounds like she really likes you, man.
I mean, I feel like I say this 1,000 times, but to be fair, if we saw DMs that Tipster was saying, look, I'm giving you some advice here, and my advice is to not go in this stream unless I'm there with you to have your back.
Bingo.
I think that would, what you're saying now would be fair.
I don't care about that. I mean, that is egregious. Yeah, that would kind of show a lot. But
that's what it seems like to both of us that you're judging him upon.
To be there. Tipster, we keep trying to make it something.
And did I not agree with you that I don't see the point of me being there? Did I not agree with you with that? The reality was that Augie wanted her on the show, and this was her stipulation for being on the show.
Did you ask her the obvious question of why do I need to be there?
No, I didn't ask her.
Why not?
I mean, what's
the obvious question?
What's the point?
Have you honestly considered? Have you honestly considered the fact that she's honestly scared of you? That she wanted someone over there that she trusted. I mean, I'm just asking because it's not out of the realm of possibility.
If she's confident and comfortable in her own skin and a public figure pouring all this money into
the fact that you think that you're winning this argument is absolutely hilarious.
What'd you say?
The fact that you think you're winning this argument is absolutely hilarious, my dude.
No. I'm not winning the argument. It's not even an argument. It's just like you lost.
You literally said that I injected myself, and there's proof to the contrary.
What are you talking? No, I'm saying you keep trying to inject yourself in this.
But that's not true. I have proof that that is not true.
Why do you need to be in the call?
I don't need to be in the call.
Then don't be in the call.
Augie wanted her on the
show.
Oh
my God, dude. You were talking in circles.
I'm having to repeat myself because I'm talking to a retard who literally doesn't listen. If you don't want to listen to the information, that's not my problem. That's on you, bro.
Okay.
I mean, we literally showed the DM conversation that shows that I did not inject myself into the conversation.
And I am telling you, I'll do
the call. There are two scenarios.
Is this person fucking retarded?
I will do the call if you are not on it. I'm telling you that. And she is in the chat right now, so she hears that.
Listen, there are two scenarios.
Why are we having this discussion right now?
Listen. There are two scenarios that equate to me injecting myself into the conversation. Me contacting Augie and saying, hey, why don't you have Destiny on? That would be me injecting myself into the situation. And in the case of me being on with her, me making the suggestion, hey, why don't I go on with you? That never happened, though. So how did I inject myself into the situation?
Now, let me interject, if I can, for a second. Do any of y'all want to attempt to get Destiny on? Is that something y'all want to do?
God, no.
Why are you so afraid to talk to her?
I don't want you there. That's the whole point, dude. You don't belong here. This has nothing to do with you.
I mean, if
to be fair, if it has nothing to do with him, it has nothing to do with me either. Do you want us to hop off and Destiny to hop on and y'all can talk offline?
No.
Yeah, I'll leave. I'll leave if you want. I don't have to be
Destiny
here.
won't come on.
That's fine then at the end of the day, that's her choice, right?
It is, but at the same time, then that's kind of doing Augie wrong because we're completely blowing that to shit because you wouldn't step away when I said these are my requirements for that call. And
hey, there you go on the chat. DestinyFOMO says I'm right here. You can add me to the call.
And I'll leave if you just want to talk to her. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Is Destiny cool with that? Because that makes no sense.
I mean, that's her call. I can't speak for her.
Okay, Destiny. So here's the proposition for you right now. So as far as I'm understanding, Smash, he doesn't want you in here with Tipster in here, but if you agree to come in here with us, Tipster's gonna bounce out. So is that something agreeable to you? So I guess we'll see with that. This is kind of devolving into madness.
She says that she's asking to be added, so she comes into this call and I dip out. You won't even have to kick me. I'll leave on my own.
Okay, well if that's the case, I very much want to thank you, Tipster, for coming on, man. It was definitely an experience.
Just in fairness to Smash, I don't know if he has other points that he wants to address. So before we bring Destiny
let's do that.
Call, is there anything else you want to address while I'm here?
No, this had nothing to do with you. The whole point of my video.
I agree. It didn't have anything to do with me.
All right.
That's my point. It's my point.
I don't understand why Destiny was forcing you to be on a call.
She didn't force me. She asked for.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. With Augie. And then all of a sudden she's cool with doing it without you with Trevor. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, whatever.
I mean, maybe she's comfortable with Trevor too.
Yeah, to be fair, I really think she is, because like she's already told me, you made 3 videos on me that were critical of me. Like, I don't have a problem with the way you did your videos. I didn't feel targeted, whatever. So yeah, I see that in the realm of possibility. So I don't know. Let's see if she'll join the call. I'll add her to the call.
She keeps saying in chat that she's ready, so go ahead and add her in, and I will bow out. It was nice talking to you, Smash. You know, the friendship was nice while we had it. And I hope that.
Hold on, before you go, bullshit. You start throwing me under the bus in your own Discord. Before I made my video.
No.
Don't you dare say I was the one.
Listen here, you piece of shit. I gave you those criticisms to your fucking face. Don't act like a bitch like I didn't criticize you.
What a good friend you are, you liar. Don't lie to people.
I literally gave you these criticisms to your face.
You are oozing lies out of your pores right now. God.
Okay. All right, dude. All right.
Pathetic.
I think I came out on top on this one, but you believe what you want, my dude.
You gotta crown yourself. That's when you know.
Well, no matter what, Tipster, I wanna thank you for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it, and I kind of had fun doing it with you. So
no problem. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. So yeah, when she joins in,
right? I'll absolutely. So I'm gonna add her to the call right now.
Everybody in the chat is saying let Tipster stay, but honestly, I think it would be more fair if I leave. I'm choosing to leave.
So there we go. I just added Destiny to the phone call.
All right, looks like she's in. So I'm going to go ahead and dip out. You guys have a nice day.
All right, Tipster, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
So what's with the personal attacks?
You mean like everything you've been doing on Twitter? Like when someone talks about all the stuff that was happening with the ads and stuff, and you felt the need to use my picture as an example? You mean?
Well, I mean, it is an example. It is an ad. You are paying for ads, correct?
Stuff with Overthink happened. You were attacking me personally.
Well, hold on. Are we gonna just go through everything? Let's stop each thing and talk about it. You're paying for ads, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so what's wrong with
anyone can pay for an ad, correct?
Yeah, they can.
But
what's wrong with me calling it out when it happens?
About their video getting struck down or something happening to their video about Corona, you felt the need to put my picture in there and add me to it, saying at YouTube, at OnlyFans, as if that had anything to do with the conversation.
What are you talking about? Which time?
Is there anything in your eyes that makes it wrong to do any ads whatsoever? Because I've seen multiple comments and voice overs you've done that implicated that you think there is an issue with putting ads up on YouTube for your channel. Like I've seen you make a comment like she basically bought all her subscribers in her early days, by advertising.
Not only that, when you did the video with Overtop and Overthink, where you were like talking about how you did ads yourself, but it didn't work for you, and then you made boob gestures because you didn't have any boobs.
Well, I mean, is that wrong?
No, that's not how ad works. Obviously, maybe you didn't do the ads right, or you don't know how ads work. Just because no one was interested in clicking on your ads doesn't mean the only reason.
So explain why all your ads have your tits up front.
Because I'm a whole thing. I'm a whole package. I put my face on a thing. They're there. Just because someone wanted to click on your face and they clicked on mine doesn't mean.
Well, here's the other thing too. Like that's taken out of context too, because I was paying for ads when I first started YouTube and didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, no problem, Tipster, man. Thanks for coming again.
And didn't have the body to sell anything. So my point being, like, I was trying it. It didn't work for me because I didn't have the assets for people to pay attention to me. That's my whole point. That's why I did that.
In reference to me specifically, though, you guys were in referencing to me because someone coughed.
Any girl that would do it. Not
but you used my name specifically. Because you could have said at that time. You could have said at that time any girl. But instead,
name another one that's doing it.
Name okay, let's fucking come down a little bit, man. You know, let's not scream at each other.
Doing it.
Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Okay, but
you
you're
pointed
the one.
at plenty of other porn ads going on. You could have talked about the porn ads, but instead
I did talk about those. You missed the entire point of my video if that's what you're saying.
I'm not talking about your video, and I'm not talking about that time. I'm talking about when you were pushing your chest together.
You're picking and choosing sections to fit an agenda to make an argument instead of pointing at the video I made. So your attacks on me recently are not
my attacks on you recently had nothing to do with your video. And if you read your DMs properly, it said it had nothing to do with your video.
Okay,
I said in the DMs it had nothing to do with your video.
Why'd you DM me privately while I was on a work call and then blast me publicly? And then I didn't have a chance to respond to you and you want me to call you. Why'd you want me to call you? What do you want to talk about?
I DM'd you personally because the kid was messaging you back and forth and he was about to feed you some false information. So I wanted to stop you.
So you wanted to call me? Why?
It would have been easier to just go back and forth. And after while I was waiting for you to be finished with your call or whatever, I saw that someone had put up something about their video getting strike with the coronavirus, and then you taking the image of my ad, which wasn't served to you, by the way, because in all the comments and everything, I didn't see you saying the ad was served to you. You were taking something that was served to someone else and saying, "Oh, YouTube just started OnlyFans, and you'll be fine."
The point of what I do is talking about in general on YouTube. It's not, oh, this happened to me, so I'm going to talk about it. It's this happened in general. I'd like to make a comment on it. Because if I just ignored things that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have anything to talk about half the time.
Now, so Destiny, when the whole thing happened where someone was trying to share docs info on DestinyFOMO's channel, that was pretty much the first time me and Destiny ever spoke. And she immediately was like, "Can I call you? Can I call you? Can I call you?" So to me, I just think that's part of what she does. Maybe she's the type of person that's not that type slowly. I don't know, you know, but she immediately went to, "Hey, can I call you?" instead of typing this all out. So that might seem weird to me or you because, like, I mean, I can type a fucking paragraph in 10 seconds, you know, but for some of my friends, for even like Bithead, I'll type up a fucking paragraph to him. He's like, "Cool." And that's it. And it takes him like 2 minutes to fucking type up that. But either way, immediately she was like, "Can I call you?" So I don't think it's that strange when you actually know anything about her.
Okay, well, I guess my point is what I do is I make videos, I make commentary on things that are interesting to me. And then I get like personal attacks on Twitter saying that I slut-shame you daily, which I do not do to your entire audience. Do you think that's fair to me?
If you go and look at past Twitter tweets, whatever,
daily.
Twitter, you have slut-shamed me multiple times. You slut-shamed
Name one time. Name one time. Name one time.
When the whole situation was over, thing was happening, and you felt the need, even though depending on what tweets you looked at, you were like, "Oh, let's keep it to copywriting." Then someone starts going back and forth with you, and you felt the need to put Googled images of me there when someone's going back and forth about it with you.
Yeah, they were calling you a sweet, innocent little girl, and I just typed in your name in Google and said, "Here's a screenshot of her name on Google."
Copyright strikes.
But I'm answering your question that you were just talking about.
What do you? No, to be fair,
going back and forth with with you.
let me talk on this just for a second. To be fair, though, again, I brought this up with Tipster earlier, but at the time when this whole thing was happening, it kind of divided the entire retro gaming community. You know, everybody was talking about it. I got blocked by Captain Retro, who I still don't think has unblocked me to this day. But at some point, it was over the use of the word thought. Now, at the time, and you know my feeling, both of you know my feelings on this, where I believe that context matters on that word. Now, I don't know truly what context Smash uses that word in, but when I use that word, I'm using it to describe someone that shows their skin on Twitch. Nothing more. There's no, in my mind, when I'm saying it, there's no sort of negative connotation behind that. There's no, it's wrong to be doing that. It's a coined phrase that I'm using to describe a certain archetype of entertainer and nothing more. Now,
Right.
whether
And I'm
Smash
taking the approach that she is more than welcome to do it. So she's taking the approach of I am slut-shaming her, even though I've never said anything negative about it. I'm just saying this is what she is doing. Like, this is the reality of it all.
well, I
And
mean,
I'm
I've never
somehow the bad guy? Like, I'm
I've never worded anything like on my videos or anything like, oh, she has all these slutty pictures or whatever. I've never said anything like that in any of my videos. And I think that's the difference that she sees, is that she'll look at my criticism and see just like this well thought out whatever, and then she'll look at yours and see this inflammatory, like, oh well, she pays for all her ads, and there's probably some guy.
That's true. That is true, correct?
No, I misspoke there.
Pay.
I'm sorry, I misspoke
What
there.
I mean, what am I saying that's a lie? Like, what am I?
What did I say that was a lie?
Wait, hold on.
I slut-shame you daily.
Hold on.
I don't.
That's not a lie. But
Yes, it is a lie. I do
I
not.
was talking about the tweet that you're so angry about.
Guy-
What did I say in that tweet that was a lie?
Guys, hold on for a second.
No, hold on, Trevor. Hold on. You say slut shame you daily. I don't. That is a lie. So stop saying that's true.
Again, what in the tweet did I say?
That's what you said. What that is that in the tweet. You
but
said
that's not what you were angry about until right now. Before you were saying I was attacking your family. Now you're saying it's about the slut.
I haven't even gotten to that part of it yet. Can you answer this part before I move on to the next part?
Go for it.
You said in the tweet, I slut shame you daily. I do not do that. And you're calling me a liar now that I'm saying that, which is not true.
Okay, so to be fair, Destiny, is it hyperbole to say that he does it daily? I mean, not daily does he do it, period.
May have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but on multiple occasions.
Why did you delete the tweet 4 minutes after posting it?
Because I let myself.
Why don't you stand? You don't stand behind.
And
what
I was
said.
like, no, I stand fully by what it says.
So you do stand behind the tweet then?
Yes, I stand behind the tweet. Yes, I do.
So you deleted the tweet and you're standing behind it, even though you deleted it.
So let me ask you this, Destiny: Did the reason you deleted?
Why would you delete it?
The reason you deleted the tweet.
Why would you delete it if you stand behind it? Why would you delete it?
Because
you have deleted tweets where you were talking shit about me.
Look, name one.
Why did you delete them?
Name one.
Where the tweets where you were calling me innocent or saying that I wasn't so innocent.
Those are still up. Those are still up. I have not deleted those. I actually looked at them yesterday, so they are still up. So don't make that up and say I'm deleting them. They are still there. So go on.
Destiny, what was the reason? What was the reason you deleted the tweet?
You're just like, you're not making any sense right now. You're saying I did this and I deleted it because I lost my mind, but I still believe it.
I didn't lose.
Which one is it? Do you believe in it or do you not believe it?
For a bit, and that's not the person that I am.
But you still believe it.
But yeah, I believe it.
But it's not the person.
I just didn't think it was the right place to do it.
It's not the person you are, but you still believe it. So it is the person you are.
Let me ask you this: was there a specific reason you deleted the tweet?
After I cooled down for a second, I decided that it was not the right place. But he also needs to stop yelling at me. He needs to lower his voice. I decided it wasn't.
Is that considered harassment?
Place. And actually, I thought about reposting it later. But
no, it's not harassment, Smash. But at the same time, if you're gonna call her out for being unprofessional with the tweet, you could calm it down a bit. Is that fair? So what I'm kind of getting at is I thought you had hinted at some point that one of the reasons you took down the tweet was you realized that you were giving him attention and that was just what he wanted and
that
whatever.
That too. That's why I took it down. That too. It was like that was what he wanted from me, and I slipped and I let it happen. But I do stand behind the tweet, and if he wants, I'll put it up again if that doesn't make him feel better.
I'm so confused by that statement. Like, I don't know if you can understand why I'm confused, but that's so perplexing. I cannot make sense of what you just said. So on one hand, you're saying you stand behind it, but you deleted it. Now it's turning into because you didn't want to give me attention. Okay, so is that the real reason that we're moving on to?
The reason was I didn't want to give you the attention. That was what you wanted.
That's the real reason.
I slipped and let it happen.
Okay. And then you delete it. But then you're willing to put it back up to give me the attention that I so want. So you do
really want it.
So you will give me the attention that I want, is what you're saying.
What? Smash. When we did the stream with Eric, you at some point, mentioned reality TV, like the way you looked at it. Your wife, watched I don't remember what you said, if it was Big Brother or one of these other shitty reality shows that I can't stand.
Take your pick.
But she watches that, and the way you look at it is that you have this. So is it fair to take from that you are kind of seeking attention whenever you do shit like this? Like, is this just like, the Coliseum for you right now, where you're enjoying this, it's not? Because if that's the case, you kind of don't have an incentive to work things out, whereas me and Tipster are trying to work things out. So, of course, you're going to butt heads with either one of us when we're trying to work things out, and you have no incentive to do that.
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at things. I look at this, I think, from a different perspective than you and Tipster. And I think even Destiny looks at it from a different perspective than all of us. I think we all have very different approaches to how we are approaching this whole YouTube thing. And to each their own. I think it's an interesting adventure we are all on. And I wish everybody the best, as much as we might butt heads at the end of the day. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate you, Destiny. I don't hate you, Trevor, even though we butted heads before you went on here. I don't hate Tipster, even though he might hate me right now. I think this is more of just, in a weird way, it's kind of entertainment, but also it's like a microcosm of life, if that makes any sense at all. I'm just going at this as, this was the situation that was facing me. This is what transpired, and now I somehow am the bad guy. And that is frustrating to me, because I never copyright struck a channel. And Destiny has done it multiple times to channels. So she might try to act like she doesn't, but she does. And whatever, that's her thing. I'm not trying to play a lawyer and what's okay and what's not. But to me, that's not cool when someone does that. That shows the type of personality that the person is running that channel. And to me, that person is extremely concerning moving forward, because Trevor, I'd like to think you can relate to this, is freedom of speech and letting people say their piece. You don't moderate your comments. You let people say what they want to say. You don't care. It's the open internet. And then we got Destiny over here that's like, oh, you use my picture in your thumbnail. You're trying to get clout out of me. Well, I mean, why do you care? First of all,
copyright striking happened 9 months ago, and you just can't let that go. Second of all, I asked the kid.
Well, I mean, technically, you did it more recently than that too, correct?
What's his name, for being racist. So if you're fine with racism, if that's what you're fine with, then
which one are you? Which one are we referencing?
I'm just asking you. So you did do it more recently, correct? That's all I'm asking.
Darius Truxton, yes.
Okay, cool. Continue, because you were making it sound like you only did it one time.
Right. So did in that instance with this asshole, right? Did either me or Tipster tell you shouldn't even worry about it?
For what, the Darius Truxton, whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so let me
go ahead, sorry.
Let me ask you this. Considering the fallout, which in my opinion, is still going to be happening long after this stream. Do you see at some point that you probably shouldn't be moderating all of this as much? Like you should just you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care as much because you said that you were not going to be doing video game videos anymore, which I think is a mistake because it was working for you, even though you in this niche. There are so many people that would kill to be in your position, and you're just going to walk away from that because of a little bit of adversity. I think that's a mistake. It centers around your mentality to also moderate, and I think across the board you should stop giving a fuck. Don't moderate your comments. Don't moderate thumbnails, copyright strikes. Just bow out of everything unless someone is monetizing your content wholly uploaded. Like, just bow out of everything, and ultimately, I think you would be freer and happier in your life.
And I think that's the core of my issue with you is I don't care what you do with your body, how you sell it, what you do with pictures. I don't care about that. That's your thing. Good for you. Like I say in all my videos, my issue is you're focused so much on striking people down, keeping people down, shutting people up, silencing people, silencing criticism. It's like, just let it be. I have more haters than you do probably because I don't silence them. I just let them be. I think there's a lot to learn from that.
All right, go ahead, Destiny.
I have copy struck 2 people. Overthink in the beginning.
I've copy struck 0. I've copy struck 0.
Let her finish.
Okay.
When I was new to the scene, and Darius Truxton for being racist. In between all that time, Overthink has made like 9 videos about me. Not one thing have I said and talked about it or anything or done anything.
He's made like 3, but okay, whatever.
Darius Truxton has a ton of videos before the one I copyright strike because he used my entire thumbnail through the whole video, and he was being racist to a friend of mine.
Yeah,
he was throwing someone else's personal life out there.
He's a known racist in the community, and you're giving him attention.
He got no attention except for the
This
small
is
group.
Attention right now. This is attention.
Because you brought it up.
Because you did it.
Because I wasn't giving it the attention.
You gave it the attention by striking it. That's our whole point.
Right. That was why me and Tipster said it probably wasn't a good idea to even bother with it. You know, don't even acknowledge it. You know, because whether or not you realize it, he's feeding off of this in the chat right now.
And I'll fall on my sword for that. It was affecting someone's personal life. It was being racist towards a friend of mine and making false accusations towards a friend of mine. And I didn't want that to affect his personal life more than it had with that video. So I did what I did. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm just saying, like, it's concerning that 1 time is an accident, 2 times it's a trend. Like, I've had people make videos about me, not racism related, but I've had people make videos about my family. I've had people make videos about my work life. I've had people make so much stuff that I could strike down. Like, you know what? These are like pissant 25, 35, 125 subscriber channels that I'm not even going to give the time of day to. Yet you let them affect you for some reason. Why do you let them? Yes, you do.
Again,
otherwise, why would you?
Again, I said the Darius Truxton one was affecting someone else's life who was close to me, and I was not going to have that.
How was it affecting it?
Because it was being racist. They were
had 35 views on it. Who's in New York?
It had more than that. Saw you when you saw it. It had that, but it had more than that.
How many more?
There were people 100? Going back and forth to his channel, putting racist things on his videos and comments. They were making false accusations. It is what it is. It happened.
Okay. Anyways, next topic. Why did you need Tipster on the call with Augie?
Because I saw how you act during the whole top-loaded overthink game with Eric.
Then why are you okay with doing this right now?
Because I just sat in the chat and watched you talk crap for like 2 hours, and I was like, you know what, just fuck it.
What did I say talking crap for 2 hours? Name one thing I said.
You were talking shit about Tipster. You were talking about how I couldn't defend myself because I wanted Tipster on the call. You were making...
Am I wrong?
No, I'm on here right now. But at that moment, at that moment,
Uh-huh.
when we were supposed to do the other thing, I saw
Uh-huh.
how you acted with Eric, and I wanted Tipster on the call, and that was that. If the dude told you Tipster was going to be silent the whole time, what was the issue there?
I mean, I made a
Ted,
video
hold
talking
on for
about
a second.
how
Ted
Tipster's simping for
Brenneman.
you.
Ted
How's it
Brenneman.
going to look to the general public if Tipster's going to be on there with you? That would be a bad look for Tipster, honestly. So in a way, I'm kind of looking out for Tipster on that. Not
All right,
gonna lie.
give me 1 second. Ted Brenneman in the chat. Why can't Destiny just say I was protecting a friend and didn't think about the YouTube repercussions? Would that be so bad? But the thing is, she did think about the repercussions, and in her mind, she was falling on her sword for a friend. Now, she's still open to that criticism, regardless of what she thinks or whatever. She's still open to that criticism, but that is kind of what she did. But the difference is she had thought about the repercussions. She didn't care because it was a friend. That was her explanation that she gave me at the time. So, awkward silence. We got anything else that we want to talk about?
Yeah. So with the what's his name, Trust Channel, they sent me some DMs from you. I'd like to go over one real quick. I know you want the views and clicks that come with my name, but that's not the way to do it. In regards to the thumbnail that they used. Mm-hmm. So you were threatening to
how is their channel. You see a threat in there? Does it say? Is there a threat in there? You just said, I know you want the views and the clicks.
So you're saying? Are you saying? Okay, I'll give you that. So you're saying you did not threaten him to take the video down at all?
I did not threaten him to take the video down
at all.
I said that I would leave it up to YouTube. The thumbnail, when he was using my whole entire thumbnail, no changes to it at all. But I did not say I would take it down. I would copyright strike. I did not say that, no.
Oh, but you said you'd leave it up to YouTube to decide.
For the thumbnail, where he used my whole entire thumbnail.
So you would strike it. So you would strike it and leave it up to YouTube.
It. I said I would get in contact with YouTube, which is leaving it up to YouTube. And I did not use the word copyright strike. I did not say I will copyright strike.
So it's a matter of
in your mind, how would you contact YouTube in that sense? To are you talking about a contact that you have?
No, I was just going to look into what I can do in terms of having him change my thumbnail. Not copyright strike. I did not use the words, I will copyright strike you.
Well, I think we
use those words or not.
I think we both get you didn't use those words, but it comes down to what were your choices if you're going to leave it up to YouTube.
By the end of the whole conversation, when I spoke to the boy, I said, hey, listen, I have no issue with your video. You are fine.
Yeah, because it was a chill video. It wasn't that bad.
Really good job. It's just your video says I do one thing and it's not what I do. And if someone's scrolling by really fast, just clicks on your video and listens to what it says, thinking it's mine, they're going to join my OnlyFans thinking it's one thing, not getting that, and then getting upset because they got this information from your video.
This channel has like 200 subscribers. Do you really think that's going to happen?
If you're using the exact same thumbnail as mine, someone scrolling really fast,
it wasn't the exact
same. Just click it. It was when
I saw it. No, it wasn't.
I saw it.
I've seen it. It's a miniature version of yours inside of it.
He changed it. But
Trevor, could you please put it back up on the screen again? We talked about it before you even showed up in chat.
All right, what are we referencing again? Because I was
the original thumbnail from Trust.
The first version that he had up?
Yeah, the original.
All right, hold on. I gotta resize it. Okay, let's see.
That's Destiny's original.
Oh yeah, my fault. There you go.
There it is.
Changed it a total of 4 times.
So that's the original.
So right he duplicated it. He cropped the top layer a bit. He added in
and
gave
his opinion on what you're doing.
He changed the thumbnail a total of 4 times.
I don't care about that. This is the original. This is one you had an issue with, correct?
That's not the original.
That's not the original.
No.
What's the original?
The original was my original thumbnail.
With what?
Okay, so here's
The one
something
I used,
actually me and Tipster got into, because you see I didn't have time to reach back out to Destiny. I wish I could have at this point, but that's what she actually claimed to me in Discord, and me and Tipster were talking about it, and we didn't think that was really possible, and I'll get into why, but we came up to the conclusion that when I sent Destiny the pictures, I sent them in all 3 in a row of the thumbnails, right? Asking her which one was which. So me and Tipster both theorized that the pictures got sent out of order, and that's why she decided to say that this one that I have up now was the original one. Because one of her complaints was, you have porn in the title over my head. You have porn over my head.
That was after he changed.
So we were both
you
thinking.
had an issue more than once with him then. The first time you didn't
while
like
we
him
were
using...
on the call, he had changed it.
Right.
So
So you
morning-
saying this is the original one? That's what he uploaded.
Yes.
If that's the case, then yeah, it wasn't fair use. Period. Across the board.
That's not what he told me, by the way. So just for the record,
And this is why I had contacted you, because when I saw the back and forth where he was like, he was going to DM you stuff, I was like, okay, he took screenshots while we were on a call or whatever. He's going to try and do something with this.
Yeah. No, that's pretty big. As far as, you know, understanding her headspace when she contacts this guy.
My understanding was she had an issue with him saying porn on it, but now it's changing to she had an issue with it was the actual thumbnail. So
I said it was the actual thumbnail.
Well,
Well,
then you said it was misdirecting people with porn.
like
Because in his video, if you watch the video, he says OnlyFans is known for porn and whatnot.
It is, by the way, but go on.
Okay. And I told him that I don't want people thinking that if you have the same thumbnail, someone clicks on the video, they're going to think I have porn and I don't.
They'll probably get mad at him and not you, by the way.
yeah,
I mean it's a 200 sub channel. It's not.
But
they're not gonna come after
either
you
way,
for this guy.
she did tell me, and me and Tipster were confused at the time. She did tell me that this was the first thumbnail, and we just assumed the pictures were sent out of order. You know, I should have done my due diligence on that and got back to her. But anyways, so he ends up changing it to this, correct? Afterwards, while you guys are you're guys on the phone, you guys are on the phone.
No, this was when we were going back and forth through messaging.
Okay.
And he changed it to this, and then after we got off the phone, he had put, I guess, just a thumbnail of whatever like YouTube recommended for a thumbnail. I guess it was just a screen cap of whatever game he was playing, and then he put it to what he has now.
Okay, which you told me the gaming whatever was kind of just a placeholder while he was figuring things out, so it wasn't really that relevant. Now if Chill Trust disagrees with that, if he ends up seeing this and thinks that the third one was relevant, he can always reach out to me and let me know what it was, because I literally don't have that one. But either way, you know, again, you know, like Tipster has said, like I've said, like many people have said, ultimately you're gonna keep finding yourself in these situations if you continue, you know, to butt heads with people on the content that they make. You know, you're never gonna be able to squash all criticism of you. It's
and
just a fact.
The more you grow, the more this is gonna happen.
To derail false advertisement.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like if he had the original thumbnail up. Now, he has nothing about porn in that thumbnail. He has nothing of any kind. It's just, you know, hey, it's to be fair, that image is pretty powerful because on its own, it literally states like, this is what the YouTube video is about. Look at this person advertising on YouTube when YouTube's in the state that it's in, demonetizing people left and right. You know, it perfectly, you know, says that with that one image. And I guess what I'm saying is, that would have been something you kind of could have ignored, because the video, the only real issue that it seems like you maybe had is his mention of porn, and you're not going to be able to control
the
that.
porn
People are
was
going to
in the
be
title, so
hyperbolic.
I don't know if he changed the title or not, but it was the original thumbnail. It said porn in the title, and he talked about porn in the video, basically saying, if you don't know, OnlyFans is X, Y, and Z, so she's probably got porn or whatever he said or whatever. And I was just like, I don't have an issue with anything you said in the video. It's just, if someone just watches your video, just looks at the thumbnail and assumes it all has to do with me, this is what can be perceived.
I mean,
and it's not.
To me, it is kind of borderline porn. You keep saying it's not porn. I'm like, it's borderline.
It's not porn.
It's borderline.
It's not porn.
I think that's where we disagree. Because I've seen the pictures, by the way. I'm not going to share them, but I've seen them. And to me, it is definitely borderline porn. That's to me.
Well, to me, I haven't seen any of the pictures really, other than things that you posted on Twitter. And you know, one of the reasons that I would be kind of reluctant to share something on Twitter like that is because of the way things happen nowadays, where you don't know if a certain picture, there might be one picture out of the bunch that you pull that was a private picture that was leaked through, you know, someone hacking an iCloud account or something like that. So I'd be terrified that I would end up using that picture, and that'd be the one picture where, oh, that was actually hacked to me and whatever. So that's one of the reasons I guess I'm kind of guarded on doing stuff like that, you know, where.
And one more thing I just want to cover. Would you like to speak, Destiny? You have something to say?
Go ahead.
You say slut shaming. So this is something that Overthink brought up that was interesting to me. So what do you consider to be slut shaming, so that I understand the definitions are the same? What is slut shaming to you?
You bashing someone for their appearance.
You're a beautiful girl, so not bashing you for your appearance. So go on. What else is slut shaming?
You trying to shame someone for what they do to make money.
All I've said is you go get that money. Like, go at it. When in any video have I ever said anything differently?
So when we were in the comments and you were saying go get that smut.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you're doing. You're selling smut. You are. Go get that money.
It's really not.
It is. I've seen the pictures.
And if you can get mad at me saying
I'm not mad. I'm just
sat home for 3 years and let your wife support you, then I can get mad at you using the word smut.
I'm not. I'm just saying you're bringing my wife into this, which is kind of weird.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the fact that you sat home and did nothing, and she was breadwinner for 3 years.
But I didn't. If you actually know my story, you're lying to all of your followers. My story is I actually had to get a job for Uber and Lyft and drive all night, every single night for 2 full years while I watched my kids during the day, while my wife worked at the hospital. So I'm not really sure how I sat at home on my ass all day. And that's what you're telling your followers. So how am I supposed to feel about that?
It shouldn't bother you because it's freedom of speech. Everyone has their own opinion, right?
So if you can do it, you're allowed your own freedom of speech. But everyone else,
you do it all the time.
Yeah, but you're mad at me. You're mad at me.
One time.
You're mad at me.
You go on the offense of, oh, I'm a stay-at-home father, blah, 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 blah.
You're mad at me. You're mad at
I'm not mad at you.
You're mad at me.
I'm just saying, if you can say all the things that you do, then I can say what I want to say.
Okay, so we can all say what we want to say. Yes? You agree?
I'm trying to see what over the top.
All right, so slut shaming is the practice of disparaging women and occasionally men for acting in a manner that violates norms regarding sexually appropriate behavior. These denigrations, which are often double standards, range from criticizing women for wearing sexy clothing or having multiple sexual partners and blaming sexual assault and rape survivors for their attacks. Now, generally, I've known slut shaming as, based on what someone decides to wear in public, that they ridicule them for being a slut. Whether that's at some sort of convention towards a cosplayer or just someone on the street, whatever. It's usually based off of their appearance, what they're wearing, whatever. Maybe not limited to that, but that's just always been my perception of it. Now,
Okay.
now
So
the
my-
obvious question: do you think you've done that, Smash?
No. Not at all. Do you think I've done that, Destiny?
Yes.
Daily?
And at the end of the day,
She's already
I clap back. You got
already
your feelings
mentioned
hurt, and
that
that's
it
what it
wasn't
was.
daily. That was hyperbole on her part. Emotional reaction.
Well, she also said that she'll put it back up because she stands behind it. So I don't know what to believe.
Well, yeah,
At the end
that's
of the day,
fair.
I clapped back. You got your feelings hurt, and that's what it was.
I got my feelings hurt.
That's
The
what it
only
seemed
one
like
in
it.
here, the only one in here is getting their feelings hurt is you. You're the one copyright striking people all over the place. You're the one
9
taking offense,
months
protecting your
ago.
brand.
Smash, come on. It did seem like you were kind of butthurt by that tweet. Come on. That didn't affect you in the slightest?
Well, I mean, she blocked me after she posted that.
Because
What am I
you
supposed to
said
think?
peace. You said peace in the DMs. You
Oh, no. You
I
you
blocked you
blasted
after
me.
you
You
said
blasted me. You blasted me publicly. I said, "What the fuck was that about?" And I'm like, "You want to talk? We'll talk right here. Otherwise, peace." And you
and I
blocked
had
me.
nothing more to say, so I blocked you.
By the
Why would I
way,
So
So
when
you're
she
an asshole.
when
so you're
she-
admitting you're an
Why would-
asshole.
when
Well,
she
go
tweeted you
ahead,
like
sorry,
that,
Bob.
did you get a bunch of her fans coming to you at all or anything?
What's that?
When she tweeted at you, did you get a bunch of her fans coming at you at all?
No, I only had. She had like 4 likes on it before she deleted it after like 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, so
And I
it
think-
relatively
I think-
went unseen.
I actually think she deleted it because she realized she wasn't getting backed up on it because it was so ridiculous. But maybe that's just me.
Hey, you never know. You never know. All we can do is trust people at their word, and whether we trust them or not, that's us, but for us to decide. You know.
But I guess what I'm saying is just stop copyright striking people. Just
Don't
stay-
call me an asshole. That's one. Don't call me an asshole. I'm not an asshole. And
don't be an asshole,
block-
and I won't
I'm
call
not
you
an
an asshole.
I'm not an asshole. If anybody, you're
Okay,
an asshole.
should I call me an asshole? Okay, so it's okay for you to call me an asshole, but not me to call you an asshole. Gotcha. I see where this stands. Okay, never mind. I won't even. Bother
I just think that's
this is like
it's a
double
bit funny.
standard city with this girl. Like she's
It's
allowed
double
whatever
standard
she
city.
wants.
It's double standard
She
city
can do
with you.
whatever she
You
wants,
say
and
stuff,
then
you
and then
say
if someone
stuff, and
claps
then
back,
someone
she
calls
says,
that
"You clap
say
back
stuff,
at you. You
and
get clapped
someone
back."
says something to
Mm.
you, and you want to get mad and cry and play the victim.
You want to clap back. If someone claps back, you can't wait to cry harassment. You can't wait to say, "Oh, they're coming at me. They're being mean to me. They're copying. I'm going to copyright say." You can't wait to come after people the second they come back at you. You can't handle
I mean,
criticism.
it
Deal with
So
it.
all
Dude,
the videos
Smash.
that have been made about me, and I've said nothing. I
You
copyrighted.
caused them
copy
yourself.
I
You
copy
are
strike-
a public figure. You are paying.
You gotta
for
let her
ads.
speak
and
at
me
some
not
point.
You are
doing
paying
anything
money.
shows I can deal with criticism. No, is
You
that
can't.
not what it is?
You
It
can't.
is. Yes,
You
I can.
can't. No, you can't. You just called me an asshole back when I called you an asshole.
Because I said, "Don't call me an asshole,"
Okay. Then you called me an asshole.
because you called me an asshole.
All right,
you're allowed to
everybody
clap back at
everybody
me, but
needs
we
to
can't
like
clap back
stop
at
calling
you.
people
Gotcha.
assholes. All right? Everybody across the board needs to stop with the assholes. All right? We're not getting anywhere with that. So
All I'm
I
saying-
would have
all I'm
actually
saying-
said that when she tweeted at you and your reaction to that was kind of like, you know, the same thing. Like you couldn't deal with her criticism, you know, because you had to like grandstand and make it about like, oh, well, this is an attack on my family. And I kind of don't see it that way. I don't see how you see it as an attack on your family. So if you could speak on as to why you feel that way, maybe I might feel different, but I don't see it as
I
an
don't know.
attack.
I don't know why she had to bring my wife into this or talk about any of that. Like, where did that even come from?
It wasn't towards your wife. It was towards you. It said it was about you specifically, and people in the chat had said it
That
was
would
about
be
you specifically.
literally, that'd be the same thing of me tweeting whatever boys supporting you and paying for you or all this. If I said something like that, how would you feel about that?
You have said something like that.
No, I have never said that ever. Other
did,
people have.
Did you
I
not
have never.
say
Do
that in
not-
your most
do not-
recent video?
Do not, no. And do not put words in my mouth there. I make sure never to say that. My point
Okay,
is,
I'm gonna double check, but
please, because don't put words in my mouth. And I've heard plenty of people say that about you, plenty of people, but I would never say that because that's going a little bit too personal. But how would you feel if I did say that about you?
I wouldn't care if you said it or not.
Oh, okay. So it's okay if I say it after you do it. Okay, got it.
okay, all right. So is there anything else that we wanna discuss? I mean, Destiny, do you feel like after this whole thing that you're gonna continue to kind of try and govern people's stuff?
I wasn't trying to govern anything. I copyright struck one person 9 months ago. I fell on my sword for a friend because of some racist stuff, and I just asked someone to remove something.
Okay, well let me ask you this. Well, let me rephrase. Do you feel like you're just gonna ask people to do things on their content when they talk about you in the future?
No.
Do you think that's a possibility?
No.
And why not? I mean, do you see ultimately it's not worth it, or are you just saying that now and you're gonna do it later?
I see it's ultimately not worth it, and I haven't done it for on many occasions. It was just this one occasion. I saw this kid who had a very small channel, and I was just trying to give him a heads up and just asked him kindly something, and then that went somewhere else.
Okay. Now he claims that at some point that you deleted a message where you threatened to copyright strike him. Now we have no way to validate that because it's a deleted message, but it does go at one point from 0 to 60. That it doesn't really make sense, and it's a point, and I'm having trouble finding the actual DM because I don't think the DM was included in the DMs that Tipster sent me. However, there's a point in the DMs where you mentioned something about his channel was nice and whatever, and then he mentions, well that's cool and all, but you don't have to blackmail me to do it or whatever. So it just seemed to go 0 to 60 at that point, and at some point he deletes all his messages. So I asked you, did you delete anything? Because at first I asked you if you did that and you deleted the message. You said no, and then I asked you if you deleted anything, and you told me I deleted stuff once he started deleting it.
Like what I meant was I just got rid of the whole conversation because at that point we were already done. Like we had finished the conversation.
Right. No, that's absolutely what you meant.
And then he started talking about blackmail, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Right. So I don't know. On one hand, it could be that she did that and deleted it. On the other hand, it could be that the guy's lying. It's literally a he said, she said. We have no way to substantiate it. The only thing I can say is that one of the reasons we tell you not to do these sort of things is because when you do these sort of things, the false strikes and trying to get somebody to change their content or whatever, is it kind of paints a picture of yourself in the future, So as of right now, we have this kid who we don't know at all, so we have no basis for comparison. But with you, we do. We have that you've done something similar in the past, so it's not the best situation to be in. And that's the reason that me and Tipster tell you, like, you're better off not doing any of this stuff.
That's not just you and Tipster. That's also me and Overthink Gaming and Trust Chill and everybody else. Other channels out there. Yeah.
Everybody else. And it's not even just that. I'll tell you the same thing that I told 8-Bit Eric. Even coming on this stream, right? Tweeting at Smash. Not to say you didn't have any right to clap back at Smash. Because even Smash might be surprised how the take I had about Pat earlier tonight, but when when I'm critical of somebody, I'm not gonna be surprised when they decide to clap back on me, right? Some of the things I've stated here tonight, maybe Smash is gonna clap back at me at some point. I'm not gonna be surprised by it or anything. But for you, who's like this, retro gaming channel or whatever you're doing now, whatever business relationships that you have worked out, like, why risk any of that where you get involved in some controversy and they decide, well, we're washing our hands of you because of, this that's being said about you and that's being said about you. And, you lost your temper on this stream and did this one time where you got so angry that you blew up, and it's there forever on the internet. And now you can't shake it. It's everywhere on the internet. And it wasn't worth what caused you to be on the stream in the first place. You have to think about stuff like that when you're running your bigger channel. Is that not fair?
No, I understand what you're saying.
It's also business. And I mean, if you're claiming that, the whole inclusion of the word porn thing was about business, you're obviously worried about business. So this is also a business decision as well. It's about protecting your brand, your reputation, and your working relationships with people as well as businesses. So, and I don't want it to seem like since Tipster got off that we're just shitting on you, but I feel like when you first started out, you were, new to the internet. That's kind of how I look at it. And I feel like you just need to let that last little bit go. And, you can be free of all of this bullshit, you just got to stop giving a fuck about the people like Smash JT that are going to continue to talk about you, no matter what.
No, I don't give a fuck. That's why when the situation happened on Twitter, it was on Twitter.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. But I mean, people take those tweets and they put them in videos.
I mean, I thought we were cool, and then that tweet came. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought we were
too, and then I see that someone's talking about their video getting demonetized, and you throw my thumbnail, my video in there, as if it had anything to do with it.
I don't know what you're talking about because that didn't happen during that moment, so it must have been another time. No, it didn't.
Someone
no, it didn't, because I was literally at my work computer.
My phone? Like I sent you the screenshot top loaded.
I was at my computer.
I was trying to read the chat. What are we talking about?
And I was in a Zoom call, so I literally wasn't doing anything. So that's impossible. Is my point. And I picked up the phone and I was like, "What the hell she blasted me for? I thought we were cool. This caught me completely off guard. What is she talking about? Like maybe it was something from a while ago that you saw."
To someone that's saying YouTube is not a job or whatever, you can make money, it's not a job or whatever. There are plenty of people that fucking file tax returns.
Yeah, YouTube is definitely a job for a lot of people.
It's a job for a lot of fucking people. Okay, maybe you can say it's a bad idea for people to be starting out looking for it to be a job, that it needs to be a hobby first and foremost, and that's fair and that's correct, right? But to act like it's not a job for people is just fucking blatantly false and ignorant. That's my opinion on that.
Destiny is taking this extremely seriously. There's a lot of money she's put into her channel, and good for her. That is not a knock, by the way. And she's definitely taken a lot of concern over her brand. Good for her for caring. But I think what you're saying, Trevor, is what I've been trying to get at for a long time is the more you grow, the more people are going to talk about you. Deal with it instead of trying.
I did. And you got upset.
Who the fuck cares?
What's that?
That was Willie Mack.
Who the fuck cares?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what you got to come to. You got to come to the fucking mentality of who the fuck cares. I didn't mean to interrupt you with that.
It was all right.
When I pressed it, you weren't talking, but Anyways, yeah,
to answer Andrew C. said Smash JT, the guy who took 3 years not working and trying to make YouTube a job. Yeah, I did, and it didn't work out for me. So, oh well. But I can still do YouTube while I work a real job now. That's just what I do. Deal with it. You're still here. You're still listening to me. So I'm doing something right, apparently. Like, I don't get people hating. Like, it's funny. I get a ton of people hating on me. And this is my point to you, Destiny, as well. People are going to be there, detractors. I don't know what you do on your channel is your thing. I used to mute people. I used to block people. And Trevor's the one that changed my mind to just let people be and just be like, let it be open, whatever. Who cares? I don't give a crap. As long as they're not sharing personal information and doxing people, then whatever, have at it. It's freedom on the channel. And for the most part, like if they're just going to be contributing absolute nonsense, then yeah, but that's just my approach. Do what you want with it all. But I got to say, Trevor, you're doing a good job, man, for what it's worth. And thank you for putting up with me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Destiny, is there something else that you want to discuss with him? I know we haven't really sort of agreed on the whole slut shaming topic. Like I said with Tipster, you know, maybe it's even that I'm too much connected with Smash from the past, and I'm connected kind of with you, and I feel like I can't make a decision. Maybe that's, you know, my own bias, and that's a fault of mine that I need to be cognizant of, right? But at times I lean back and forth where I feel like, you know, it seems like he does have an issue with it, because why else would he be so emotional about his responses? Sometimes he looks so emotional about, I mean, it's slutty pictures. Let's be real, you know. And then at times I feel like, you know, toughen up, Buttercup. Like it's we're just being real here, you know. So I don't know how you two can come to any sort of agreement on that. You think it's slut shaming. He thinks he's being real.
I mean, she's doing her thing. Good for her. I got nothing against you, Destiny.
Do you honestly have no issue?
I got no issue with her doing it.
So are you telling me that if and I'm not trying to drag anybody's family in.
Here's the thing. If someone's going to defend her and say she's this innocent, sweet little girl, I'll say no. She's a chick that's selling basic porn, which, by the way, I know you take issue with. It's quasi porn. Good for you, but it's what you're doing. You're not a sweet innocent little girl.
Why do you have to address that person at all?
But that's sort of what I'm saying is what's not innocent about that? You know what I'm saying? What I mean, it's adult. It's an adult thing to do. But what's morally wrong? That's where I'm saying.
You're taking what I'm saying as I'm saying I'm taking the moral high ground. I'm not. I'm just saying this is what it is. It is. Don't act like she's this when she's
no. I'm what I'm getting at is
you want me to lie and be
your response.
Would you rather hold on. Would you rather me say, yeah, you're right, she's a sweet innocent little girl? No conversation here.
No, but I don't see a lot of people saying that she's a sweet innocent girl. I see them saying she's not a thought in the skewed context that they have, thinking you're calling her that hoe over there, right? And then that's the context I'm seeing that play out in.
I guess what I'm getting.
So if someone says
which
innocent,
I do not do, by the way, I do not do. But you're saying someone with an OnlyFans posting very risque pictures should not expect to get that from the crowd. Is that what you're getting at?
I'm not. I think it would be ignorant to not expect that, right? But do I think the majority of people are wrong for doing that? What the fuck is... Everybody watches porn. All guys in the fucking world jerk off. Like, how... If somebody's saying that there's some fucking morally ambiguous fucking shit about it, to me, they're fucking being wrong. You know?
Oh, there's nothing wrong. I am happy for anybody that can make it work. And if I was Destiny and if I had that body, hell yeah, I'd probably be doing the same damn thing. But I'd also be expecting there to be a lot of people talking about it. And that, in a way, even negative context should be looked at as a good thing, because anybody talking about you is more attention. And that at the end of the day, it should be what you're looking for right now.
Listen, are we done? Like, I have a pay-per-view. Do you have anything else to cry about? Because I got a pay-per-view to watch that's starting already.
I'm not crying. I'm done. You done? You're done.
Yeah, that's fine. If you got everything out that you wanted to get out, I hope it didn't seem like, you know, it just became a shit on Destiny thing. I've tried to be fair in your defense as much as possible, as rationally as I could. So, and Smash the same to you as well. So,
and Destiny, respect for coming on without Tipster here. Thank you for doing that.
Yep. So I guess thanks for joining us. Destiny, thank you. Smash, thank you. Tipster, thanks again for coming on. I want to thank everybody who checked out the stream. And that's about it. I guess I'll see y'all next time.
Mr. Top-Loaded Gaming, the fucking garden gnome who thinks he's intelligent.
Canadian gamer.